Kia ora. Just giving me a sec to set up some music, which I forgot to put on before I came in. Kia ora, kia ora. Oh, kia ora, my friend. Kia ora e hoa. Let's clean my glasses so I can actually see you guys. Kia ora, Raina. Awesome. Hey, my friend. Kia ora. Thank you, Makeup Works. Kia ora, Leah. You're on my list too, Leah. Thank you so much. And Raina, thank you. Yeah. It's been a full-on day. Like, you know, like I'm prepared for the whole day, but always the last 5 minutes I'm like, Spirit says, I want these particular decks. And you're like, hey, okay, all right, I'll go find them in that big old collection that's just sitting there collecting dust. Kia ora. Okay, you let me know when he's there, Leah. He can be first up. Okay, so today is just going to be me sort of getting used to the lives again. As you all know, I'm helping with my whānau because cancer sucks, and I'm not too sure how much we can sort of get into it today. And it's been a lot, but this is a week where I've actually got the whole week off from babysitting my moko and literally every other whānau, because unfortunately when you're sort of how people perceive you being home all the time is that you've got nothing better to do than watch their children. But I'm actually a support carer. I share time with my mum, who also supports, because my stepfather has MSA cerebellum, which means that his automotive functions like swallowing, breathing, I mean, even those little things are starting to really get on top of him now, are almost difficult, like they misfire, and sometimes he knows how to breathe, he knows how to swallow, but it's almost like your automatic stuff that you don't think about. That goes out the window when you have MSA. So we all share time because he can't be left alone. And soon he'll go into full-time nursing care, but while we can keep them home, especially for Māori families, while we can keep them home, that's important for us. And so eventually he'll end up in, you know, intensive 24-hour care, but while he can still have dignity and a life that he deserves, then he's at home with us. But besides that, and my moko is energetic, and when she's home she dominates my spaces, so yeah, I don't really get to go live because she'll be trying to be in on it. But I wanted to do a little bit of just a intuitive prep chat and get into some readings, and then we'll just go from there. So if you have a question along the way, feel free to jump in, ask that question. If you are looking for a reading, don't forget I do have paid readings. If you want to jump into the list and become a priority reading, that's pretty much what that is, because I can give a million free readings, but I'm only a one-man person, one-woman person, one person, and I can only do so much. And so there are people that wait hours just to get on the list, and that's not always fair. So that's why I decided to do that. Kia ora. Yes, thank you. Yes, that's if you just want to get in there without having to wait 500 hours. But I do have a couple of ladies already booked in, so that's cool. What I'm going to talk about today is intuitive prep, and feel free to ask any questions. And the reason why this is really important is because when you do this kind of work and you do it seriously and you do it for, you know, you feel like this is your mission, you're helping, you're making an impact in people's lives, then you really have to hone your craft. You can't just go in sloppy or messy when it comes to, you know, people's energy. You have to be pretty on board, on point, and towing that line, because there is a point where it becomes ethical, unethical, and you don't want to get into that section because the energy will start working against you. And so a lot of the processes that I go through and the things that I do consciously is because of the way that I've learned how to do it. I had a wonderful mentor who sort of guided me around what ethical spaces look like in spirituality, about respect, about permission, about looking after your tinana, because you're the conduit, you're the one that's providing the energy to create this message. And some people think that the energy, they can just got vast amounts of energy, but if you notice a lot of readers who don't do those practices, they have extreme highs and extreme lows, because they're not emptying out at the end of the day or discharging their energy. They're not going through practices of, I guess my philosophy is basically, because I was a sporty person, I always played sports. Before you started going out and playing your game, you practiced. So you practiced your skills, your footwork, running, your fitness, mental, athletics as well, thinking and strategies. You would stretch. So you always did this prep, right? And then you would play the game, and then after the game you would actually wind down, do stretches, because if you don't do stretches, you'll get cramps in your legs, you'll have stiff and sore muscles, and you do a slow jog. And especially when you start moving up into the competitive, teams, you will, or areas in sports, you have to do a lot of warm up and warm down. That preserves your body too. So it's the same sort of perspective when going into readings, because when you tap into somebody or get a reading from someone who's really trusting in their word, the things that they're getting from within, and have beautiful, wonderful energy or energetics, then you're going to get a completely different message from someone who just rolled out of bed and pulled you a card. Even though that could be deep and meaningful, the energy behind it is different. And so, this is why I always talk about energy hygiene and maintenance, is because as a sensitive, if I didn't do these processes or strategies, everything went downhill. Kia ora! And so this is why I started talking about them. It just seems to be something that made sense to me. So that's why I always make the videos. A big thank you to my wonderful mods, who I only just let know this afternoon that I was going live. And it's been months. So thank you, ladies. Kia ora. Kia ora. Welcome, Queen. Kia ora. I feel nervous, but that's Kate Pai. We'll do some grounding before we get in. So yeah, that's pretty much how I approach it, and that just keeps your mind good, your body good, your spirit good. It keeps that energy at a good space, because you also have to learn your limits. You can tell by your body, your tinana will tell you when you're getting tired, when you've had enough. And you have to really respect that too, because your connection with your body is the most important when you become the conduit. Because sometimes, if you think about this level or this type of reading, when I say intuitive, sometimes you're channeling, sometimes you're a medium, sometimes you're being psychic, and sometimes you're doing energy work. I always say it kind of starts off as just simple, sort of easy intuition, and then it'll get right into the big things. It'll start building as you spend more time with someone's energy and focus on them, and more intuitive hits come in. And so it is a craft, and sort of how I have the respect for it, that it is a craft that you have to master and develop and evolve, and it elevates you. So kind of when I first started, I was not very confident. I was not very communicative. I literally just showed videos of my hands with cards, how people just show their hands. That was me. And then somewhere along the way, I found my voice and my ability to communicate what I was really sensing in the cards. And it just kind of went from there, I've experienced some really awesome experiences and some really shit ones. To be honest, the come down effects of tapping into high vibrational energy and not knowing how to balance my body out again when I come back into the sort of the normal energy levels. and how much you just drop out because you've just burnt your whole fuse trying to, boom, light up the world, and you haven't actually, you know, taken care of your body or done strategies and tools that allow you to come back to yourself. Because a lot of it, when you get into the intuitive side, is that you expand. Okay, so for me to reach people over on the other side of the world, let's say I read someone from America, I would have to make sure that I've actually expanded my energy out further enough to be able to access the information that I need from them. So that's a visual tool that you can use as well. And when you expand, it's about learning how to get into to get into that state of expansion. You actually have to go through a couple of processes or steps to get there. So I actually teach this. I have a 2-hour mentorship that I do, which is in my stand store, which I'll just talk about now, and that's about enhancing your intuition from an ethical standpoint. And this is something that you'll learn from me, is that I will do everything to the highest intentions for you, the person out there, and for me, so it doesn't hurt me or harm me, because, you know, some of you have got some demons hiding in the backpack ready to just jump out. And what I mean is just like energies in which we have to transverse across, we have to travel through to get to your core, to get to your light. And like any beautiful treasure, there's always sometimes, for many, what I call like the beast or the monster that guards it. So anything beautiful and precious is always guarded by a monster in mythological stories. It's the same too within. So we have our shadow aspects, which will sometimes jump out. And as I used to say right at the beginning, I could always see people's shadows. I could always see the negative energy sitting in them. But as we learn, negative energy is sometimes our way of protecting ourselves. So the shadow isn't always a negative thing. It's a sign from your body that something's not right inside that we have to deal with. And so the more you get into this, into the energetic side, the more you really can understand why things are showing up, and they're less scary. So, you know, dealing with, you know, when you do mediumship and you're dealing with other people's loved ones, sometimes they can come in really intense and it can be quite scary. They can touch you, or, you know, you just feel the energy of them in your body. I mainly get tappings on the head or on my shoulders, or feel what they call psychic wobbles. So it just be like, oh, I felt a tremor there, but it's the pulsation of the energy. So I've had to learn a lot of things along the way, that when you really do your energetic work, it gets real easy to do. It's almost like a thought. Okay, I'll get into this state, relax my body down, drop into my heart, expand all the way out, boom, I'm ready to go. But when you're starting, you know, you have to get into the routine and create this habit. It's a habit, but it's a positive habit, and the more you do it, the faster you get at it. So you don't have to spend 3 hours chanting and omming or meditating out in the sun with your third eye chakra. You know, like a lot of people really, I think they dramatize the spiritual space. I call it dramatize, but not, you know, create the aesthetic that you feel and believe that spirituality actually is. But a lot of it is just being human. Most of it. You can feel it as a spiritual person, you can feel it as a human being, but if you feel it as a human being, it's going to really make an impact on you and change your life. So it's kind of like bringing yourself all back to this present moment. Energetics is a lot about that, bringing yourself back to this present moment so that you become refined and that your focus is pinpointed, it's solid and moving forward. So when we have energetics that aren't helping us, our energy goes like this. It has no form. But when you bring it in, so if you ever look at it from the top, it's like a spearhead, an arrow of focus. So that's how I kind of understand it. Yeah, I've done a lot of classes to enhance the intuition, learnt for some really beautiful people, which I was just lucky. You know, a lot of it was just luck. Randomly come across people and they teach you things that they're doing for themselves. Right person, right time, right place, you know, right reason. That's how it goes. And I've just been lucky to sort of show up in spaces and people that do this kind of work just happen to be there. besides maybe a couple of online classes. That's pretty much where I've been learning, is the people out there in the world and experiences that I've just randomly come across by being me and by being human. So, kia ora, my friend. I think I drama everyday life sometimes. Well, you know, like if it's for fun, it's all good. If it's for you know, something that you do, it's different. But if it's for a negative reason, then it can get hard. You know, that'll become an unsustainable system, and you will have to find a new way to direct your energy. But yeah, sometimes it's good. Like I might be dramatic to my kids, but they know that I'm just doing that because I'm probably just trying to be annoying to them. And the only time I really get dramatic is when it's messy and they're being messy. That's the only time. Kia ora kura. Good to see you. Thank you everybody for coming in. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. What we're going to do is that we're going to all get into our heart space. We're going to tune into each other. We're going to create a circle of light so that the energy flows easier, and everybody that receives a message today will be able to feel good and uplifted by our energy. This is not going to take away from you. This is not going to hurt you in any way, shape or form. This is just the energy that we're creating as a collective to embrace each other, to provide each other with love, compassion and kindness and healing if we need it. So it's just like giving each other a hug in a circle. Because that's kind of how I do it. And it's called, what I call it is synergy time. So it's kind of where we synchronize our energy, where we are projecting our energy towards a cause, you know, kind of like magnifying it, like the sun, you know, how you magnify the sun through a magnifying glass. Does that make sense? The sun goes through the magnifying glass and it can burn paper. All we're doing is just bringing that light into that circle and allowing that energy to go where it needs to go. And it helps me, it helps you. And at the end of this, you should feel pretty uplifted. And a little bit of meditation, maybe a couple of minutes. Because if you can do the right processes in a way that serves you, really, the longer the better for meditation if you have a lot going on. But if you're trying to get into a certain state, that only really takes a very short time, which we're going to get into the state of love, of peace, and of harmony within ourselves. And this is something that we should always do, but we don't always remember because we're busy people with busy lives and we've got things to do. But at least you know, or have a fair outline of what you need to do. If you want to do this a little bit more seriously, you can always communicate with me. But if you want to just take what you can from this particular live and use these practices, then you're most welcome to do so. These are the parts that I like to share for free, because these are the parts that actually really help people with themselves. Because your journey, even though, you know, we've all got different soul missions, your journey is to really love the skin you're in, the life you've got, the energy you have, you know. And a lot of us, we don't see the value in it until it's too late. And I think, you know, I could say, oh no, I want to be, you know, this beautiful spiritual light, but in the end I have to be a human. There's no escaping this reality, or there's one way to escape it, and that's not an option. So, you know, I have to embrace my spiritual light while being a human being, which means dealing with our reality. And sometimes that reality is not always fun, you know. Like yesterday was really tough for me. Yesterday I was dealing with some really dark stuff because I was coming off that Whero moon. Oh, Whero was coming for me, man, I can tell you. And then doing inner child healing when I'm already feeling a little bit vulnerable to the energy. Yesterday took me all the way down, but when I woke up this morning, I was just like, this is the day, you know, like it was like, I was up, I'd taken that 24 hours to heal my shit, you know, gone through the full process. So by the next morning I had wiped my slate clean and I was ready to party. And so my energy has been pretty, you know, good. Yeah, the Whero moon. Yeah. Well, I learnt the whakapapa of the fetal moon and the part of the creation story and things like that. Man, it really, I think that belief system really sunk in because I could understand it as a Māori, listening to Māori atua myths, well, I say myths and legends or stories. Whew, yeah, it's a lot. And I love it. It's pretty enlightening, and it kind of explains Māori philosophy, you know, how we see the world, how we think about the world. And so with that, yeah, I realised that's what that was. It was like an onset from that fetal moon, and so it was time, you know, that I faced one of the biggest memories that I have that's the most painfulest. And not that I want to talk about it right now, but yeah, it was tough because it got me. As soon as I woke up, I was just in that healing phase, which is the hard phase. But I'm lucky to have lovely supportive people where I can talk to and share my pain, and they're not sitting there going, oh, another one, Sonia. Because I have a lot of, you know, trauma. So less now, but I had a lot of trauma prior to my healing journey, so sometimes they do come up, and as a human being I got to feel it. But that was actually, you know, when I really sat there and thought about it, and that's what I put in the video today. When I really sat there and looked at it, I was like, I needed to heal that. I needed to heal that. I needed to look at it. I needed to process that and find the root cause of some of my dysfunction. You know, like, why was I feeling melancholy? Why was I feeling so down and out? And that's because it kind of builds and you don't realize until it's there. And when I looked at it, when my core belief system was betrayal. And the question that came out was, why did you betray me? And I'm just going to talk about it. My understanding that I was receiving a memory like that was that I felt someone should have prioritized me and looked after me, and that they didn't, so they betrayed me. But that's the child me, right? And the human me understands that there was so much fear in our situation when we were growing up that person could not prioritize me because they were just surviving, that they were living in fear too. Because they knew if they spoke up, the same that was happening to me would happen to them. And so there's that, you know, it's self-preservation, you know. And so there has to be forgiveness and things like that. There has to be forgiveness. Otherwise you'll never be able to let it go. And then you slowly, it's like, you know, like energetics with inner child healing. It's like you are literally life coaching your inner child. Teaching them, well, you know what happens when we get older? We find our way out. We get that freedom that we yearn for. Because, you know, there were times as a child that I wished I wasn't here. And I'm not going to say any further than that about that, because life was so dark and heavy. And so I feel so sad for the little me that suffered a lot through violence and abuse. And it was tough, you know, like that shit's tough, man. And I know that you're not allowed to always say things like that, but it was rad shit. But at the end of it, you know, I actually made peace with a lot of that. I made peace in myself, and I identified that core belief system that was no longer serving me. And a lot of that is because I'm trying to move into a more business state. And I know that sucks to hear coming from me, because I really love to give things for free. But as I'm becoming more financially independent, I do have to start doing things the proper way. Or at least within the law. And you know, that's a part of me that wants to move that way. So but you know, guys, most of my 90% of what I do is for free. Just, you know, and a lot of it, what you may not see online, a lot of it is within my own community. You know, if I can't help the people that are around me, it's a waste of time having these skill sets. And so I do 90% of what I do is for free. So it's just kind of like, as I'm trying to wrap my head around new belief systems and integrate and introduce these belief systems, that means some of the old things have to go. And that was one, and I'm glad it's gone, because I don't want that to come up again. I don't want that to show up, rear its head, and be like, wow, Here you go, Sonia. And so I've decided to, just yesterday sit with it and get over it. And not everybody likes to hear about that stuff. Everyone loves to hear the high vibrational things because that makes us feel good. But a true spiritual journey, a lot of it is in the dark, traversing the deep dark spaces within our soul for hidden treasure and potential, unlimited potential. Do you know what happens when you heal a core memory like that? You elevate. You elevate instantly. You create space for something new to open up inside of you, and you get to choose what it is. That's the cool thing about all of this, is that we all get to choose what it is we integrate into our lives. The new things, the new doors, the new paths. That often we feel we get led by something else other than us, but it's actually us guiding ourselves. So yeah, that's how it goes, and how it has been for me recently. So I just wanted to share that part. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into synergy time. I've got my wonderful indigo gabbro. As you guys know, this is kind of my intuitive stone. Indigo gabbro is, I think it's like it's called merlinite. It's great for intuition. Helps me feel grounded, and it keeps me in a high vibration. Sometimes people can use crystals or not, but I just like to use it because it kind of keeps me here instead of getting lost in people's energy. Just like a way to squeeze and bring me back to my body. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, oops, sorry guys, kia ora. Sometimes I get lost in the kōrero that I forget to look at the comments, so I do apologize. When I do the readings, I don't see the comments, so if you do have questions or comments, please wait till after the reading. And I apologize if I miss any questions. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take some breaths. We're not even going to count how many breaths we want to take. We're just going to drop into a relaxed state. So stage 1 of intuitive prep is get your body into a relaxed state. You can do it with your eyes open or with your eyes closed, however you feel comfortable. You've got to get into a comfortable position, somewhere where you can feel safe. I usually use a sacred place or a place that I go to do energetics. For me, it's outside by the tree. I'll either stand or sit, but as we're moving into this, we're just going to do it right here. So you can find a sacred space or create a sacred space, which is usually filled with things that make you feel safe, that take you to the place you want to go to, or remind you of the place that you want to go to, which could be spiritual. I want to be spiritual in this moment. Fill your area up with things that symbolize that to you, which could be crystals, candles, incense, pillows, cushions, whatever it is. And just sit in your sacred space. What we're going to do is right here. And you just take a few deep breaths. And just really calm down that nervous system. Letting your eyes close naturally. Because one thing we have to learn about intuition is that you have to feel safe in your own skin. You have to feel safe within your own body and understand the difference between your energy within your body and external energies coming in. So we first tune into our body and move it from a stress state, which is what they call tūmātauinga, or high cortisol. So let's say you may not feel stressed, but your body inside your cells, they might have been doing a lot of work for you behind the scenes that you're not aware of. And so you're simply just breathing in and out, adjusting and moving around, shifting to a place where you feel aligned and comfortable. Just breathing in now. And if you think about it, with every breath that you take, your body just feels more and more relaxed. And you can feel the energy just coming together. As if all the parts of you that were stretched out or stressed out are just coming into the center, to the heart space with every breath. And all your fears, doubts and worries that you had from the day are just leaving you, returning to the earth or out into the universe. And you're stepping into an energy where you're safe, where you're calm, where you feel secure in who you are as a person, where you love your own body. And as you reflect on your life, you can see so much value in it. What are things that you say and share with others, bringing them knowledge, bringing them light, not giving that light and knowledge to yourself. And almost, if you can think about it, can you just simply envision yourself rubbing your back right in the middle between your shoulder blades, like you would a little baby, rubbing your own back, feeling the love coming in to a point where you can let down your guard, let go of your worries, allow that stress level to come all the way down. When you know you're in your body, you're all the way in. You can feel the tips of your fingertips and the tips of your toes. You can feel your pants or shorts touching your legs. Become super aware of your body right now. And just what I say, do a scan, which is visualize your body and just scan over it with your eyes. Do you see any places of shadowing or discoloring? And if you do, just visualize beautiful white light going to these areas. How's your brain feeling? How's your thoughts? How's your airways, your lungs? How's your heart? How do your arms feel? How do your shoulders feel? Your hands, the energy from your palms, or your meridians, energy meridians in your hands. How are your hips and pelvis doing? Your belly. Is it nervous? Is it scared? Or is it calm? How's your breath? Is your breathing easy and soft? Or is it heavy and hard? What about your legs? Your thighs? Your knee joints? How do they feel? Your legs, your shins, your calves, your ankles. Are there aches and pains? If there are, send love to them, to the areas. Send beautiful white light with intentions of healing it or clearing it. How are your feet? Are they achy? Have you been on them all day? Are they sore? Your toes. Step 1 is connection with your body, relaxation. This is a point that you need to get into, a state in which you need to be before you tap into the next stage, which will be dropping into the heart. And now we're just going to take some deep breaths now, nice and slow. Just going to breathe in through the nose and hold the energy in our chest, expanding out as much as we can. And as we exhale, we're going to make a noise. We're going to breathe out and we're going to make that noise. So we're going to go like this. And every time you breathe in, hold, and then breathe out and make that noise, you're going to feel your energy slowly drop into the heart center. And you can do that as many times as you need to until you feel your heart energy activate. Seems weird, but it works. You might feel your body relax even more. You might feel a little bit sleepy at this stage. And as you breathe, you might notice the sound lessens more, or lessens as you breathe more. It doesn't seem to be so laboured to drop into your heart. And any belief systems that do not serve you, anything that does not suit you to your highest goal, your highest purpose, just simply falls to the floor and returns to Papatūānuku, the earth. It just leaves you now. You're carrying no excess weight from your day. You're carrying no belief systems that stop your heart from activating. In this moment, you are standing in your heart, in your heart energy. You may feel at ease. You may feel uncomfortable. You know, that's completely normal if you're not used to doing that. Dropping into the heart is so easy. I can do this with ease. I can let go of my worries with ease. No thoughts that are intrusive or painful can enter into my system, into my thought forms, and I can keep those negative energies and thoughts at bay with ease. All that I embrace right now is the energy of my heart that works in co-creation with the universe and for my highest good and the highest good of others. So now that you're in the point of being in your heart, you now must expand it. So breathe into your heart one more time. And just hold that energy just for about 4 seconds. And as you breathe out, I want you to expand your energy out, visualizing it moving all the way out, past yourself, past the room you're in, past the city you live in, the country, the hemisphere, across the world, into the universe itself, and as far as you can go. And as you breathe in, drawing that energy back and pushing it out again. By learning to expand your energy in a conscious way, you then can move through things and connect with information and knowledge that serves your highest good, the highest good of others, and energies in which you may not have never discovered if you had not moved into your heart, into your heart and expanded your consciousness. Such a simple, easy exercise to do. And as you sit here with your consciousness expanded, just see your aura just show up to you. Any colour, whatever colour you see your aura as being, this beautiful glow around your body. If you can visualize that and allow that to grow brighter until you're completely encompassed in a beautiful circle of light. And within this light, you are safe and protected. You are blessed and loved And nothing and no one can touch that but you. You are safe. You are loved. You are protected. And you are blessed in this moment as you discover your own light in your body and around your body. Now, visualize, if you will, if you want to, if you feel safe enough, visualize a beautiful golden circle of light going around everybody you know in this energy, your loved ones, your family, your friends, and just imagine this beautiful golden circle reaching around to each one of us and spreading out until all that you love is encircled within this golden ring of light. And within this circle of light, we welcome in our spiritual teams, our guardian angels, our ancestors, our loved ones, and energies or beings that support us in this life, and we thank them. We must always be grateful and have gratitude for what they do for us, whether we know that consciously or unconsciously. We must always have gratitude for them because they help us each and every day. And we hold gratitude in our hearts and we thank them. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you. Creating a bridge with our loved one or loved ones, our ancestors, whichever energies you wish to connect with that serve your highest good. You create a circle of light for them to enter, a space in which does not drain them, because a lot of our loved ones use a lot of energy to come in. Okay? And so we create a neutral space for them to coexist with us in the moment. And we have gratitude as the bridge, and love. You might even feel someone come in close, and someone may come to your mind. You may feel connected. You may feel loved. You may see, sense, or know them, whoever they are for you. And knowing that they're in here for you, to help you, to be of service to you. And you may feel their love flooding into your heart. You may feel emotional. Many of us have never learnt to step into this circle, into this energy. And it's free and abundant for all. And just end this with, and so it is, and so it shall be. Their love, their truth, their wisdom, their knowledge will guide us forward. And when you're ready, no mai haere mai, welcome, come back. That's how you do it. We did that slowly, but as you get more refined in that technique, you can do it like that. Alright? You'll just move straight into the state. You'll know what to do with your body. You'll be able to move forward. You can bring your loved ones in. You can protect your energy so that no one and nothing can touch it. It's an intention, eh? It's an intention. You have to set intentions in the energy. So, you know, some people don't do that. They don't safeguard themselves, and they'll have some kind of input that won't be able to discharge or let go, and they will have an imbalancement, whether that's negative thoughts or negative feelings or negative situations showing up. Okay, and these are things that I've had to teach myself, but also techniques that I've also been taught by others that I use my own personal way of understanding. You know, like, well, I give this to you as an outline. You can always interpret things your own way. I say research, find the knowledge and wisdom that you need to be able to use these techniques in a way that best serves your highest good, and also explore. You may find a better wording. You may have a better word for it. You may choose a different form in which you want to bring that energy forward, but you can experiment and find what works for you, because each of us tap in differently. Each of us see things differently, you know, but that's okay, because we're all part of that bigger picture. We're all connected in some way, otherwise our energies wouldn't come in, wouldn't want to sit in, wouldn't want to learn, wouldn't want to know. We'd be somewhere else doing something else. But there's a part of us that wants to engage with this kind of energy, and so we show up. And that's kind of that's how I see it anyway. And I know this first hour we're like, oh, we haven't even had readings yet, we've only been meditating and talking. Let's go to pie. Good things can't be rushed, just like a fine wine. Oh, that's awesome, my friend. Just like a fine wine. You know, you want to enhance your intuition, you have to be patient with it and trust it. Trust it. Trust it. Now, a lot of people get imposter syndrome, and that's because they don't always 100% trust what they're sharing, and they will slip in and out of that. I've suffered from that heaps, but I've worked so hard just trying to trust it, because, well, the universe proves it, because it's never led me wrong. I've never had a misstep since I've started trusting in my skill sets and what I share. And as soon as I got into that state, it's just easier to open. You know, you're less afraid to connect with the heart, to open the heart up to some beautiful things. And when we get past the fear of being vulnerable, because a lot of it is, there's a vulnerability to stepping into the heart, and recognize that living with your heart wide open is a freedom that many of us will never ever get to understand or have or experience. That's the truth, because many of us will never learn how to do that. When we learn to live with our heart wide open, we get to live a life that we choose. You know, we may not be able to choose our the people, the leaders that are leading our countries, but we can choose what we do within it, and that is power. That is power on its own. So have a drink of water, guys, after doing that meditation. If you've got some water, I'll go get some water, and rehydrate, because that kind of level of energy that you're going to be feeling over this time is going to elevate, and it uses up lots of energy. So water's a good conduit. Keep yourself hydrated. All right. So, Leah? You know what? Sometimes we have to understand when we get into meditation. Meditation teaches us that we have to find order in the chaos. So the best way to know how good your meditation skills are when your kids come and disturb it. I know, I could be like, get out of my room, I'm trying to meditate, because that's the belief that it has to be completely calm and quiet. But if it's calm and quiet up here, you're all good. Okay, awesome. Is your brother here? Sorry guys, I better just make sure I'm not missing anyone out. Don't mind me while I just forgot to set up. So yeah, I do refine my practices. So that practice is just a step up from the last time, and that's just the basics, but it's all good. And you can take from that, you know, whatever you need to. And hopefully that serves you in some way, shape or form. Okay, cool. Okay, Takuda. Okay, awesome. I got you, Takuda. Car pie. Alright. Just got it here so I can make sure I've got everybody. Okay, water, yes. Okay. Alright, so alright, thank you. Thank you, Leah. I'm going to do you first, and then I'll do Raina. These are the people that have already paid, and Takuda, and then I will get into some free ones. Thank you for staying this long if you have from the beginning. And just remember that even though I may not be reading for you, sometimes these messages really, they translate over to your story too. There may be some kind of healing or knowing that you need at this moment that can show up in other people's readings. And so really you have to have an open mind and an open heart and ears ready to listen, because sometimes I could just say a simple phrase and that's going to really, you know, skyrocket up for you. So I don't know why my face looks really bright down here. Sorry, I'm just picking it myself. All right, Leah, so I'm just gonna ask for your brother to take a deep breath, drink lots of water. Actually, I'll just have another skull off camera just in case I spill it all over myself. Just going to take some deep breaths and get into it. So this is just me tuning in, because I've got to sidestep Leah's energy. You got some strong energy, girl. Just naturally, your life force. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to say for your brother, I'm going to say Cody, kia ora. I'm Sonia, I'm an energy and Tilda. Don't know if we know each other. But I wanted to say that your energy, I think it's been a bit down and out lately, right? Because when I try to tune into you, I'm getting what they call low signal, which tells me that sometimes you've spent a lot of time, or maybe recently you've spent a lot of time down in the dumps. So this is kind of like when they like make me reach in and pull you up, because I have to bring you to my level to really communicate and move in. And all I'm going to say is that they keep singing True Blue, which is an old theme song which I haven't heard in a long time. So it does tell me that particular song, it's not about the colour, but you know, colour can also mean like throat chakra energy, the blue. Maybe sometimes you find it hard to communicate how you feel, what you're thinking, and that sometimes it's because those thoughts aren't the greatest, eh, bro? Or girl, sorry, brother, right? It may not necessarily be the best thoughts, so you don't want to share those. Because I feel like sometimes you try to be more happier than sad. You know, like I get that outward, because it's easier to make people less aware if you because I'm just getting happy, that's kind of thing. You're portraying that happiness, but you know, like inside, like many of us, it's not what you see on the outside is not always what you get on the inside. So I'm just telling your energy to show up. Just show up. So I'm just going to say this, and I hope this is on point for you. And I haven't pulled a card yet because I want to, but I want to intuitively just pick up, and I'm hoping it's on point. But it just feels like you get forced to do things that you don't really like doing, and that's not a sustainable system. To truly tap into joy, you have to be passionate about what it is that you do. So I'm not too sure about why that comes forward like that, but it's just like, oh, you know, I just feel forced to do things because it feels like you're in a slow ebb, and the slow ebbs mean my energy patterns are heavier or harder, but your thoughts are getting louder and louder. I don't know, do you go to the gym? Because I heard pump, like it just feels like you listen to a lot of motivating songs. Like that's how you get out of shit. That's your healing phase. It's like once I put those sounds on, I'm in the zone. You know, it's like that killer instinct kind of energy. You know, you start moving in the zone, it feels good, but I mean sometimes it's only temporary. Yeah, I think you've been fighting a lot of heaviness or negative thoughts for a long time. I'm just saying, I seem fixated on that, so it just feels like sometimes your mind works against you, and that's really hard to make decisions. That's really hard to know which way you want to go, because it feels like you're a heart person. But why are you... so, like, this is how it's coming in. It's like, It's not really words, it's like images of people doing that, like you're tough. When people look at you, they're like, no, I'm not gonna mess around with that guy. You know, you're for the right reason, for the right cause, you're there. Yeah, but there's the tracks in my tears, and that there it is. I was like, I'm waiting for that confirmation. So people say I'm the life of the party, 'cause I tell a joke or two. Do, 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 do. Oh, I don't know the rest of the words. That's just what I heard in my head. So that tells me that sometimes you are like, you know, you're the funny guy, you're the up guy, you're the, you know, you might get pumped up a lot, but there's this undertone. Yeah, inner child healing. Where did it go wrong for you? When did it start going wrong for you? What age is that? 8? 8? 8. Feels like that's an interesting number. We're in an 8 year too, so probably had a hard year this year. Harder than most years. Things might have fallen apart or fallen away. And you're trying to tune in. It's weird because I'm hoping it's just your energy, but you do have other energies around you, and it just feels like I keep going to them, moving out of the energy of you, because your energy, you need to bring it home. You need to bring it all home. You are so stretched out. You care about a lot of different people, you know. It just feels, you know, like I say a lot of different people, but they could be family members, they could be family. But it just feels like my heart's here, my heart's there, my heart's here, my heart's here, my heart's here. Your heart needs to be here. Your heart needs to be here. Your energy can go there, but not your heart. You have to take back your heart. Reclaim it, proclaim it. There has to be a bit of claiming there. Yeah, easy steps. Steps to success, eh? Alright, let's pull a card. Okay. You got the lizard, bro. I'm going to just read the meaning of it, but I will intuitively speak what came up. I'm giggling because it kind of, yeah, it's like cold on the outside, but you always need to be warmed up too. It's a weird thing. Like it's kind of like a contrast. People see you one way, but you're very much another. Like what you see isn't what you get, and that's how it keeps coming forward. So with the lizard card, it says instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, dreamer. Yeah, you're having spiritual awakening, aren't you? When in balance, artistic, telepathic, spiritual. When out of balance, elusive, non-committal, flaky. This was his show up. You weren't showing up. And don't take that as a rundown. Like, we all can be flaky some days, you know. Some days we're good, some days we're not good. I say you put a lot of pressure on yourself to constantly be good, and I can understand that. But there's a part of you that wants to slow down, because for some odd reason this lizard is saying to me, slow down, you know, like it's all kind of going too fast. Or you might have moved into a lifestyle that's moving too fast for you, that you you want to just frolic through the field of roses and things like that. Like, there's a part of you that just wants to live your way, which might be a bit weird for people that may know you a certain way. Like, there seems to be a shift happening in you. And with the lizard card, you know, that lets me know that, like I said, they're a little bit cold-blooded, but they need the sun to move, that they need to be warmed up. So I think you're just waiting for some really good things to happen. If this is, I don't know if that makes sense. But it just feels like you're waiting for things to, some good things to show up or to happen. But you got to make them happen. You know, what's that song? Mariah Carey, that's the song I heard. I'm hearing it in my head. You're gonna make it happen, make it happen. What's that? I'm gonna end up singing it. I was singing this a few months ago, actually. And that's something that Spirit gave to me too. Like, you want shit to happen, you gotta make it happen. You can't just let the currents or fate throw you around. You gotta take the bull by the balls and do the shit that you're afraid to do. To show up, to be that person that you want to be. Because I think we all grow up anyway. You know, like, there's a point. You've got to transform. There has to be a metamorphosis where you just think, I'm one way, but then I'm actually something else now. And it's okay to change. You don't have to be the same if that's what it is. Yeah, you've got the fairy grandmother. Oh, godmother, sorry. I said grandmother. Well, what's the... Oh, they've got like weird little, you've got to verify because you haven't been active, kind of thing. That was weird. Thank you. Join my team. What is that? Anyway, sorry, I got something in my eye. An eyelash, no doubt. Or glitter. Is it glitter? Looks like there's something in my eye. Anyway, the fairy godmother. Yeah. See what she's doing? This or that, this or that, this or that. And then you've got Gawacha. So these are the fairy oracles. And so these tell me the details with this, right? So definitely going through a transformation, but you're in the transitional phase, which is tough. You know, and I say that with love, because with the fairy godmother, you ask for this, this is now happening. It is already in motion. This is something that I say to a lot of people. Everything that you've already asked for, it's already in motion. It's just whether or not you're ready to receive it, and part of you is just not ready to see it. Like, you know it's already happening. You know what I mean? It's like, I already see it. But the thing is, if you're seeing it through fear, and this is the thing about the fairy cards, is that they show your characteristics. Because I originally had this deck out. This is one of my favorites right now, the Animal Apothecary. And they said, no, you go get those, you go get the big baddies. So this is one of my original Oracle decks that I bought first of all, right at the beginning, which is the Fairy Oracle. And so with Gawacha, it's kind of like telling me that there's something you're afraid to see. Afraid is the word. And the way that the fairy godmother kind of talks to me is that she was like, you told me you wanted this, and now you don't want it. You need to make up your mind, because now everything's sort of turned upside down. You know, like, it's sort of just like our wires got crossed. And I'm going to say this, if you're trying to manifest with the universe, make sure you're very specific with the universe. Otherwise the universe will just give you what they think it needs. The universe will give you what it thinks you need based on who you are in the moment. So there's a lot of just new beginnings, new beginnings and endings. So that's what I'm feeling in your energy, is that something's ending and something's beginning. And that this is the phase in which, especially Gawacha, because, you know, she's got that eye there, so she's looking, she wants whatever it is that's coming, but she's also, how do I describe that though? It's kind of like, because I base it on images, right? I get lots of images in my head. It's kind of like you have to allow the outcome to unfold naturally. You have to allow things to unfold naturally without control or without fear, because the more that you try to see, know, sense things that are out of your control, and try to bring it into control, the more limited or the more distorted the image becomes, you know, and we can get really scared of what we see, sense and know, especially if we're using our skill sets to and we haven't been trained, or we don't have a sense of discipline with our skill sets. So I just say that with love, because sometimes people have the sight but they don't know how to use it, and so they use it in a way that works against their highest good, and what happens, it goes out of balance. You see the wrong shit, you interpret it the wrong way, and so that image becomes distorted. You have to have a form of discipline around your skill sets, otherwise it will never work fully for you. It will end up working against you. So whatever that means, whether that's spiritual or in the material world, use your skill sets with a sense of discipline, which means that you would have to, you know, be consistent. But yeah, with Gawacha, something's coming. You can feel it. And that's the thing, it's like, I know it's coming, I know it's coming, I know it's coming. You know, it's that anticipation ends up being worse, because you haven't just sort of like brought it forward. Hey universe, I really want to manifest a home. Am I going to get a home? You know, like I would like a bigger house, you know. Hey universe, I would like a bigger house. And then you just put it there and you just go, okay, when you're ready, give me that house. And then you let it go and become detached from it. Because as soon as you let it go and become detached from it, a lot of people like to focus in on it, but the downside is like watching paint dry. And eventually you're going to get bored of that image, and you want to keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. And then you never actually allow the energy to be created for you. You know, we have to understand the universe doesn't move in human time. Only humans perceive time. Anyway, and it's kind of like, yeah, you're getting a little bit attached to outcomes, and that's going to be very disappointing if things aren't showing up to your ideal. So let go of the need to control. Work with your spiritual team better, because they seem to be a little bit frustrated with you right now, because you're giving them mixed signals. They are here to be of service. Don't forget to be grateful. Like I said, always be grateful for your spiritual teams, whoever it is that you communicate with. And they can show up as a grandparent. For me, the fairy godmother always shows up as a grandparent to me, because this is kind of what my grandmother does. She shows up and she gives me little gifts, and I feel like you could either, in her hand she has the apple of knowledge or the pearl of wisdom. So there are learning opportunities here for you. Okay, thank you so much. There are learning opportunities here for you. Which one do you want to learn first? Let go of your fear of controlling the outcome, or actually being successful in receiving this outcome too. Some of us are afraid of our own success. Some of us are afraid because in the past we've let people down, we've disappointed people, but you're not the person from the past, are you? You're the person of the here and now, and that is all that's real. So recognize that this fear, this worry, this anxiety, it's not real. It may feel real, but it's because you're becoming attached to an outcome. Okay, let that outcome go, or that expectation go, and you may find it shows up. It's weird how that works, but it does. And I'm going to pull a card from the White Light Oracle. This is just this is the White Light Oracle. These have just like a paragraph that I'll read. I'm going to get a card for your highest good. Oh, just one, please. Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, there's lots of change in your life. That's what I want to say. A lot of the cards are telling me that there's a lot of change in your life. Like the lizard itself, cold-blooded but needing the sun to warm it. It feels like there's another element that gets you activated or motivated, that it's hard for you to do that on your own. And with the fairy godmother, a little bit of mixed signals going on. There may be lots of signs that you may be missing as well. I just get that. The Gawacha. Just be mindful of that fear around your own success. Or, okay, I heard the word premonition. So sometimes you might predict or have foresight. Just be mindful of how you're filtering your visions or your knowings. If they're coming through fear, not through the heart, they won't tell you the truth. And then you've got Alabaster Tablet of Layla, number 41. So you see that? So Layla is the... Oh, Layla is the angel that puts the bow on your lip. Shh. She's the one that makes us forget as we come into this life. What's that? Angel's bow right there. So I'm going to read this to you. It says, here we go. Alabaster Tablet of Layla. You are remembering at a soul level. You are tapping into the greater awareness, and an understanding of your highest life purpose shall become even clearer to you. This may evoke unsettling change within you. Well, I told you. But the change is necessary for a new way to manifest. You are protected and guided at all times, especially when you feel uncertain about your course. You are truly loved. So I'm going to say this about Layla, is that she's a feminine angel. They don't usually have, you know, I think they're like, they don't have a designation, design, you know what I mean? They're not male or female usually. And so when they get a specific you know, female, that means that they incorporate love, connection, feminine gentleness, which I felt that in your cards. Like, I want to frolic through the field of roses, not through roses because you're going to get cut, of flowers, wild flowers. You know, like there's a part of you that just wants to break free from whatever conditioning or whatever lifestyle you had before. Whether it may not even be your lifestyle, it just may be your thought processes. There's a part of you that's yearning to be free. And I think you just have to choose what's the most important to you. And the only way you're going to really know what that decision is by learning to tap into yourself. I always say that, listen with your heart, you will understand. And people may think that's from Pocahontas and it's a dumb song, but it actually is quite deep. That the more you tap into you, the more you understand you, the more you can make decisions that are best for you. And the thing about life is this is something I learned, is that everybody's got a great thing. They know your path, they know what you're good at, they're going to tell you what you can be. But no one knows you, no one knows your path, no one walks in your shoes except you. And so you have to make that choice for you. I can say, hey bro, you're going to go this way, you're going to go that way. But that's my perspective of you. The only way that you're really going to know is to choose to take that time to step into who you are, feel loved and protected, and use your skill sets wisely. All right? I'm going to let you ask a question if you have a question. If not, Kate Pai. But I'm hoping that that message resonates with you. I'm hoping that it helps you in some way, shape or form. And that it's given you some kind of guidance in there. I know that seemed like a bit of a mixed bag there, but to be honest, you know, that's kind of where you're at right now. So, thank you, Fano. 20k, woo! So I'm hoping they're in there. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask me before I move on to the next. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes. And yeah, so that's why I was a little bit late, guys, loading in, because I had it all set up, and then Spirit's like, you need to go get those fairy oracle cards. And so I was trying to find them because I got cards in like cupboards everywhere. Should I stay healing? Yes. You have no choice, okay? Should I get back out there? Is that what it is? I'm going to say this to you, okay? And this is sincere, because this is something that I've actually asked myself. Is I choose healing every time, because when I heal myself, when I go through that full process of healing, whatever it is, you know, it's different for each of us, but it feels completely 100% real. You know, we got to experience that. When you choose to heal yourself, you will get back out there. It's a natural progression. So healing takes time. It's not always easy, especially the things that we got to go through. But you're having a spiritual awareness, and if you get Layla, you know, there's probably mediumship coming up for you. Mediumship. That's why you're afraid with Gawacha to look at some of the things that you see. So healing will allow you to slowly move that fear out of the way, so that you can truly see the image without distortion of yourself, probably, you know, looking in the mirror. Oh, thank you, my friend, thank you. And I just feel like, should I stay or should I go? Stay. Do your shit. Do your ish. You know, that's what I want to say. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because if you don't heal that stuff, it's going to keep coming back. And I think you deserve to heal it so that you can actually move forward without fear. Alright? So I send that to you with lots of love and good intentions. I hope it serves you now and in the future. Thank you, and take care of yourself. Thank you for that. I appreciate your generosity. Lots of love. Yeah, make me want to cry, because I can feel that. Thank you. Alright, we've got the lovely Raina. Are you still here? Sorry guys, I know I've sort of spread these out. And then Kura, and then we're going to get into free readings. So I'm here till 9 o'clock. Stuff it, I'm here till 9 o'clock. And I appreciate your guys' time. And alright, Raina. Hi Raina. I appreciate you too, my friend. Alright, I'm going to have a drink of water, Raina. If you'd like to take a deep breath, just get nice and relaxed. Okay. Oh. You know, I don't have to really take much to tap into you. But why did I hear the Eurythmics? Just talk about. Okay, so I just heard. I'm gonna sing it. Here comes the rain again, falling on my heart like a memory. Oh, falling on my heart like a pure emotion. Sorry, I only can remember what they sing. Well, the way that I'm getting it, I'm just going to be honest, the way that I'm getting it is that I actually feel really good. Like in your energy, I feel like you're good. So why am I hearing that? There may be some difficulty with someone that you know, someone close to you that seems to be going through something. Just feels like you feel concerned. So we're just going to pull that energy back. Oh yeah, well, you're doing stuff like that now, eh? Tuning into people. What? So, okay. The way that I'm getting this, so let's let me describe what I'm getting, is that A, they're talking a lot about time. There's a lot of chatter about time, like running out of time. I don't know, there seems to be a bit of urgency around that, because that came in really, really fast. It's just like, oh, I keep running out of time. So I don't know if this is actually you or someone around you, because it feels separate from you. Because I look at you and it just feels like You know, life is good. Like I'm just trying to better myself. I'm just trying to be a lot more calm. I'm just being a lot more embracing. Like there's this really jovial kind of vibe there. Like I'm just being me. But it could be a lot of inside chatter if this is not someone else but you. That you could be kia ora ripika. You know, it could be that you, yeah, maybe just dealing with someone that's having a lot of difficulties, or it's just a thought form that's taking a hold inside of you. So as we all choose to elevate our skill sets and abilities, we will come to heads with some of our demons, and some of them are deep, dark, and vicious, and we have to deal with them, you know. And I don't like to use the word demons because I think that's probably not the best word, but energies. And oh, excuse me, and it feels like you were okay, that you were just walking on the road, tripped over and bumped your head. That's how it felt. That's literally what they said to me. I was just going along the path, and then somehow I just hit this curve and I fell over, and I've gone back to ground zero. Like you've had to start again. So I know I'm being dramatic, but that's the feeling behind it, is a little bit of disappointment. And I know that feeling so well because I've had that feeling happen to me as well, where someone's like, oh, not someone, where I felt really good and I'm like, elevated, thank you so much, moving up. And then I hit a snag right at that point where I think, oh, I'm just about to pick that beautiful cherry off the tree and I'm about to eat this cherry, you know. And then it's like, trip over and you drop the cherry and you're like, ah, shit. You know, now I gotta find the next best cherry. And I don't know why I'm using the word cherry, because that's just the word that I'm getting in my head. And it's kind of like, well, yes, you did lose that cherry, that beautiful space in which you felt that you could hold on to. But if you're in the path of evolution, which obviously metamorphosis, transformation, things like that, you're never going to be able to hold that peace for very long. Your body will keep choosing to shift to move out thought forms and belief systems, because sometimes we've had a lot in there. We've had a lot in there for a long time. And so it just starts digging out all this, you know, space for the new thought forms, the new elevated feelings. And those kind of energies require more space. That's the thing about heightened energy, heightened feelings, or elevated emotions, that like joy, bliss, is that they actually can take up a lot more space because they last longer in your body. And so those other feelings are just digging down, and because the universe is all about irrigation and airing out things, that it will say, get in that trench and go do that mahi, go dig that mud up, and go find yourself again. And it's not starting from ground zero. It's not. It's like you're digging your pathway up. You know, you're digging that next step. You're finding that piece of you that needs to be brought back to the light and transmuted. You know, it's kind of like, I look at my challenges and hardships like, I was saying in one of my videos, it's like compost. Just adding to the compost. You know, it sucks. It's smelly. It's not something you want to look at all the time. But when you combine it with the dirt and you want to grow shit, it's going to grow shit. Good shit. Really, really good shit. So I kind of look at my challenges as that. It's just adding to the compost of my garden of life, and I'm adding more compost, you know. And it's hard in the moment, but yet there's always this illumination that comes afterwards, that you know what, I was always supposed to do that. And that's a realization that we have after the fact, is that, man, I was always supposed to do that. I was always supposed to say that. I was always supposed to fall there. Because when I fall at certain points in my journey, especially when you feel like you're at that precipice, like right there on the edge, about to just walk through that door, and then the universe is like, ah. Remember that thing you're supposed to heal about 20 years ago? But yeah, here it is on a platter. And you're like, oh, no, I don't want it, because that's hard, that's difficult. And so it just feels like, you know, there's two parts of you that are showing up. The you that you love everyone to know and that you actually are, and a part of you that you keep private. because I keep thinking it's someone else, but it could be just something else within. And it just feels like, you know, maybe the universe is giving you an opportunity to bring these two parts of you into oneness, my friend, into wholeness, I mean, together. Because kind of like when I was talking to one of the lovely ladies in here, she called me a heartist, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of like what I do. And she described how that felt for her, and I was telling her it's like sewing pieces of the heart back together, and but that thread, that tapestry that you're weaving within that person is love, you know. And that's why I say healing hearts is an art, because it is. It's not so easy to heal a heart that's been broken or wounded, and that many of us have to be careful, you know, when it comes to healing the heart space. And the more capacity you ask for your heart to hold, the more clearing you have to do. So when we learn to drop into our heart, we must also recognize that the heart will push forward anything that needs to be cleared, and that gets really hard, you know. And so I think to myself, for you, this is not a negative time. It may feel not always great, it may not always be great. Maybe you're just thinking, oh, you know, I could just learn something new, I could just integrate that. But sometimes we've got to sit with the other shit, we've got to sit with the other stuff and let its message be heard, you know. Like I was talking about my inner child message, which was betrayal, you know, from my past. You know, why didn't you prioritize me? Why wasn't I the most important? I didn't even realize that was in there until it said, literally I heard it, why did you betray me? And you know, now that I'm aware of it, you know, and you can tell by my demeanor compared to yesterday, is that all the energy that hasn't been able to get into me because of this belief system, and in healing it and processing it and removing that broken system, I now have the energy and capacity to step into something new, and I'm more braver, I have more courage, I have more confidence, I have more trust, you know. And I feel like that's where you're at, my friend. You just are developing your skill sets, you're mastering your craft. Every hardship, every challenge you overcome allows you to become more of yourself, into wholeness, together again, you know, that the shadow and you work together as a team, not as enemies. And then you learn that your shadow is really just there to protect you, you know. So, oh, gotta put my charger in, guys. I'm gonna pull some cards for you, my friend. Oh, bumpy. I forgot to put the charger in before. Let's pull that around. Pull some cards for you and see where you're at. I'm going to pull an animal card. This is the Wild Unknown Oracle. You guys know this one. Because I wanted to use the animal pocket theory. They're like, no. Because the animal and the oracle, as you know, I think you know that's like one of my favourite combos. Are a lot more powerful for personal development. Oh, that was caught there between my legs. Sorry. Thighs. Okay. You got the zebra. Yeah. What are you? You know, is that what you're trying to define? Are you psychic? Are you intuitive? Are you a healer? Are you a medium? Are you an energy worker? I don't know, but there's a passion in you that's growing. That's why, and it's funny, eh? The zebra's black and white. But you know, the reason why it's like that is because it camouflages with the background. So it's actually a defense mechanism, the black and white. Just want to bring that forward. Helps them camouflage into the Sahara better, or the African plains. Okay. So there's lots of activations that have been happening to you as well with the zebra. Or let's just read the meaning of the actual card. So I'm not reading the actual paragraph reading, but the actual physical meaning of the card. It says eccentric, creative, visionary. Okay, so in balance, you're worldly, enthusiastic, fashion forward. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, vain. Okay, so to bring into balance, an epic adventure and art. So yeah, no, that's the thing about this is the cool thing about the zebra. Okay, the zebra itself is a very special energy. They're like magnetic. So in showing me this, it tells me that you are sort of trying to move out of defense mechanisms that you have in place. So you've got strong boundaries. Okay, you've got really strong boundaries, and there's a part of you that actually wants to move out from being a wallflower. That's the way I'm going to describe it, because for some odd reason, me saying that this is about blending in with the background doesn't sit right with your energy. There's a part of you that actually wants to come right out and say, hey, I'm an intuitive, psychic, medium, energy worker, light worker. You know, like you're all of them. I think we all take certain titles because it kind of helps other people describe what we are. You know, like, what do you do? Like, people ask me this all the time. What do you do? I say, I'm an energy intuitive. You know, I could say I'm a psychic. I could say I'm a medium. I could say I'm this, a tarot card reader or an oracle card reader. But energy intuitive allows me to say that I kind of just work with all of that, you know. And so I just think also you're getting a lot of people coming to you now, right? A lot of people coming to you for advice. They're almost drawn to you. I feel like they hear a lot from other people, so they come to you. And the thing is, you're probably hearing a lot of intuition as well. Like, you might be actually hearing it now. Or I think you've always heard it, but you just never understood fully what it was saying. So with the zebra, you definitely have a magnetic personality. So it's time to let yourself come out all the way out and not feel so like you have to define yourself. Like, I think sometimes when we take these labels or these titles, it can be very restricting, you know, because people, when they hear the word psychic, they'll only want one thing from you. Tell me my future. Tell me my future. Tell me what I don't know. When you're a medium, please tell me what my nan wants me to know. What does my dad want me to know? If you're an intuitive, they're like, what does my energy say? What's going on in my head? You know? And sometimes you may not want to talk about any of those things. And so you have to understand there can be a bit of pressure being you. Because it's kind of like, well, I put the bar here, now I have to always hit that bar, but sometimes I ain't feeling that bar. You know, that's when we realize we're not fully trusting in ourselves. We're not fully allowing ourselves to step forward, because there's a part of us that A, needs to do some work on ourselves so that we trust ourselves and love ourselves better. But also B, we believe in ourselves. We invest in ourselves. You know, we stand up for ourselves. I've had heaps of people coming like, who are you, Sonia? Who do you think you are? I was like, I know who I am, who are you? You know, I'm me. You know, I never try to defend against people who aren't prepared to listen to me. And so I just feel like there's certain people that, yeah, you should say, well, I'm not too sure who I am. But the other people, who cares? Who cares what they think about you? Just do you, because it's a freedom. You know, I'm going to say it. You know, you've been itching to do it for so long. You might as well just do it. Yeah, third eye. But we all know if you want to access that third eye, you better be in your heart. Because the third eye will show you things. And if you're not prepared for it, you're going to get lost. Or scared or frightened. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. You got the Piper. Ooh, anything else? Thank you. Oh. I think it's Tahida. I'm going to say it Māori because that's Tahida. Tabira, sorry. It's Tabira of the waters. I'm like, I'm singing in Māori words. Oh, sorry, I don't know if we can show that because there's a little bit of, you know, femininity in these cards. And I love that because I really love the Piper. So the Piper is very romantic, very ethereal, you know, and ethereal is kind of like delicate and light, too perfect for the world. So, and with Tobiah of the Waters, you know, there's emotional healing available here too. Just be mindful of the environments that you're in, that you're not dealing with toxic people or drinking toxic water. So a lot about Tobiah is clearing or cleansing your spiritual waters. And the Piper is a calling, you know, it's like saying, come with me, come here, go there. You know, it's your intuitive nudge. And it's like, the way I want to describe it, and I'm just hoping this makes sense to you, is that the calling is over there. But sometimes it feels like it's right in here. You know what I mean? Like it's in the distance, but yet it's like right here. So I feel like the calling for you to really step out and be your magnetic self, that's getting stronger. The urge to come forward. I don't know how that shows up for you, whether that is actually saying, oh, I'm actually gonna start getting paid for readings, or you may already be, or start a business or stepping forward. And I encourage, yes, if this is something you're thinking about, or collaborations with others, yes, because it just feels like the more you ignore it, the harder it gets for you to really define yourself. So it's kind of like stepping out. You pretty much have to have that confidence, and this could be why the universe is kind of pulling you back a bit and saying, look, go do your shit. That way you can feel confident, you can cleanse your spiritual waters, and you know you're tapping into that intuition clearly. You're hearing the corded, or the clear audience, the intuitive knowing clearly, because it feels like yours is clear audience, the way that it comes forward in sound and within, you know, memory and things like that. So you can actually share experiences, lived experiences, you know, with others as your way of storytelling or expressing yourself through story here with Tobiah of the Waters. I don't know if you're going to a lot of sound healings or involved in that area, because that would be cool. Just feels like, you know, your circle's getting a lot bigger when it comes to the spiritual side, or a lot more people are listening to you now, or coming to you, or showing up. And it's interesting because with the Piper, you know, it's a song that comes from the heart. It taps into your deepest desires, you know. And desire is not always a negative. Sometimes it's a natural space that you desire to be something in your life and make something for yourself. So if you're hearing that call, you've got that third eye nudge going, you can see that vision clearly. Oh, like, I can see that. I can see that. You know, that's how it feels. I can see that. And you're like, very aware. Then it just feels like there's no denying this call. And I love Tobiah of the Waters. So Cancer season, this is a Cancer card. They're usually associated to different zodiacs, and it just feels like this is an important time for you to make peace with some things, okay? To make peace with you, to make peace with others, to make peace with another, and heal what you need to heal now, so that when you really step forward, you can embrace who you are completely, okay? I'm going to pull a card from the White Light Oracle. And I'm just going to say this, the only person getting in the way of your moving into the next phase is you, right? We can only do as much as we're willing to do, you know, to our fullest capacity. So we have to be mindful of that. But I just want to read what the Piper, the actual meaning of the card is, not the full description, but the just the little meanings that they have. What is this? Number 24. 24 breaks down to a 6. So yeah, definitely in the heart, my friend. Home, heart. So music, order, harmony, seduction, and empathy. So he sings a secret melody, and it drifts through our lives, offering us a meaning to communicate from the heart without words. And then we've got Tabira of the Waters, number 37. Yeah. So definitely changes coming, a little bit more fluidity as well. Emotions, serenity, meditation, gracefully accepting change. So, yeah, Tabira, her healing helpers, and the healing waters. So fairy reflects the emotional state of the water, reflects our emotional state. Oh, and that song that we got at the beginning, right? That was Here Comes the Rain Again. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a melody. Oh, it is melody. Falling on my head like a pure emotion. So feelings swelling up, but you know what? If, like I said earlier, if the spirit is bringing this forward, the universe is bringing this forward for you, you got what it takes to get through. Okay? You got what it takes to get through. All right. Let's pull a card from the White Light Oracle. You got two. Okay. All good. All good. So it's interesting, the two cards that came out, and I'll read both of them. One is number 36, the Telepathy of Terra Matter. And the other one is Shakti Part of Seahorse. One of my favourites. So equine energy coming in a lot. So for me, that kind of says to me there's a bit of motion, or what do you call that? Momentum, sorry, happening. So the zebras, you know, the seahorse, that's equine energy. So let's get into that. And they're usually about powerful physical movement. Number 36. We'll read this one first. Come on. 536. Telepathy of Terra Matter. The pathway of your spiritual fulfillment and the sacred manifestation of your purpose is not necessarily logical and will evolve organically. The skillful and unpredictable workings of the Mother Earth are supporting your soul's journey unconditionally, following up on inspired ideas and allowing for unexpected shifts in direction are integral to the manifestation of your soul purpose. Commit to an idea that feels good to your heart, even if it seems improbable or unattainable. It will manifest successfully, because you want to know why? When you follow your heart, when you're heart orientated, you always move the right way. That's why we have to trust ourselves, because the heart will pull you, it will nudge you, and it will nudge all the time, and we get really good at ignoring it. But when you actually learn to be guided by it, it always takes you to the right places and the right people. Okay? And then we've got the last one, which is Shakti Part of Seahorse, number 31. So 31 breaks down to 4. 4 is about foundation, balance. 31, come on, where am I going? I'm going to 21. Alright, here we go. Shakti Part of Seahorse. So, as you embrace your inner essence, you will be at peace with who you are, including your vulnerability, and no longer see the need to conform to social ideals which have no true resonance for your heart. You are encouraged to trust your intuitive recognition of which environments and relationships harmonize well with you, supporting your spiritual growth and well-being on all levels. You have the innate capacity to manifest. Relax and you shall attract all that you need. So we all know about the seahorse, right? I always talk about this. Is the one thing I love about this card, is that the seahorse works symbiotically within its environment. It doesn't damage its environment. It doesn't take away from its environment. It lives in harmony. And also, the seahorse doesn't like volatile waters. It likes calm waters. It likes warm waters and safe waters. So sometimes a lot of water's coming into your space. So there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to deal with emotionally to really embrace this ability to show up for yourself, because that's what that call is. It's asking you to show up as you are. You know, are you an intergalactic rainbow unicorn? Are we from the same tribe? And it just feels like sometimes you're not always in environments that are soothing to your soul, my friend, because you have a gentle way. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I said, gentleness can be a strength when it's used as a tool for change and for good. You know, especially in a world that's always hard and moving. Sometimes we have to learn to be gentle with ourselves. That means gentle thoughts, gentle words, gentle action. Okay? So I send it to you with lots of love, my friend. I hope it helps you now and in the future. Thank you and take care of yourself. And yeah, if you've got any questions though, it is one of my favorite cards of that deck. I always like the horse cards because I'm a horse in the zodiac sign, Chinese zodiac. So I always say, yeah, that's my card. Not right now, Kayla, sorry. I'm doing the paid readings and then I'm moving into the free ones. Is a metamorphosis. Yeah. But, you know, to be honest, Raina, you've been metamorphosing, is that a word? For the longest time, you know. And we may go through multiple metamorphoses. You know, I don't know, you've seen me like through all these years, and I know I'm not the same person that I was when I was just showing my hands and reading cards, you know, and there's a confidence, and that builds through experience, you know, doing as many readings as I've done. Just the experience from doing those readings. And you know, there were some readings I entered into, I hadn't done any energetics, I was just winging it. But when I learned to move into my heart, it always made sense, you know. But then I'd have the energy drain afterwards. So, you know, it just comes down to, you'll never know what you got if you keep waiting for it to show up perfectly for you. You've got to step out now as you are and recognize that that is enough. As you are. Now you can metamorphosis, or you can just choose to learn to fly. Like wing it, just jump out of that nest. You know, because that's the law of nature for birds, eh? They just pushed out the nest and they learn to fly. Or they don't. And I believe you'll learn to fly. Because you already know how to. You just got to remember. So, thank you, Raina. I hope that made sense to you, my friend. Lots of love. And we've got one more left, which is Takura. I'm assuming that's my friend Kura. Is Kura still here? I know I've been going on. I do apologise. Yeah, okay. Oh, Aroha Mai. I'm thinking it was Kura. But it's you, my friend. Oh, too much. Awesome. Yeah, that's the truth though. That's the truth. If you don't accept that you're showing up as you are and that's enough, you're going to always struggle doing spiritual work. You're going to struggle. You have to know your own value, and it has to start on the inside. No one can validate your journey. I mean, I always say, oh, thank you, I love that, because it lets me know I'm in the right place. Because it's true. When someone gives me a wonderful, beautiful comment, and Raina, you've always been very gracious to me. That helps, but it has to start from within me first to bring forward those messages, to go through that experience and share that. Thank you, my friend. You know what I mean? So, kia ora. Yeah, it just starts from within, and once you got it, you always got it. And it's something that people really need to learn. Why do you think you're woken up? Why do you think you went to the spiritual path? Why do you think you've got skill sets and abilities? Because you were always supposed to use them. Always. You just have to learn how to use them well. So they can work for you. That's all. All right, okay. Okay, my friend, let me just shuffle these up. So yeah, I just wanted to do some lives randomly this morning. I did think about it yesterday, but yesterday I was not feeling it. And so yeah, it's nice to sort of have the energy go, okay, you're all good, you can, thank you, you can get in there, you can get in there now, go for it. It's like, okay, fine. All right, my friend, take a deep breath. Thank you so much. And then we'll do some free ones until 9 with all the lovely people. I'm sorry, I'm just stretching because sitting for so long. All right, my friend. I'm just going to tap in, tune in, see where you're at. Oh, hekama. It's funny. Oh, that was funny. Like, just seriously. It wasn't anything bad. I was just like, it was almost like I sort of stood beside you and we were just looking down at all the kids running around. Like, there was just like a little bit of chaos with all the kids running around. Like, there's a lot of energies around you, so we're just going to pull that back. Because you do focus a lot on your kids. And so we're just drawing the energy to your core. All the way in. Yeah. 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 I'm hearing that boom like an 808. Circle like a figure 8. So yeah, 8 year, been a hard year, been a good year, been a hard year, been a good year. You know, like it's sort of like, I love the way that this came across. You know, that's life. You know, it's like, I'm not expecting like the smooth as, highly lit road that's easy to travel. You know, you're prepared to do the highs and the lows. There's a lot of, like, the way that it comes forward is that, like, when you've got a cause, you're like, you know, you're doing the whole sprint down that road. You know, you're just there, like you have so much focus, like hyper focus, that you'll sit up all night thinking about things, planning it out, preparing, and working on your plan. You've got a plan. This is what I'm getting from Spirit. You know, there's a lot of chaos around you, but yet, and the chaos is good stuff, you know, it's just family stuff, you know. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be negative or bad, though. That, you know, for me, that it just comes with the territory in which you move in. You know, I'm not talking about actual physical territory, but the areas in which you move in. You know, there's always going to be a kickback from from someone somewhere. And it's like, I'm always prepared for that. So I feel like you've got backup plans. You got plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, all the way through. You're like my brother. He's a great organizer and planner. But I can't do that kind of stuff because it really puts me off. So that's not my skill set, obviously. And it's just like, oh, that's a lot of thinking. You know? I suppose for me, I laugh at that because I spend so much of my day trying to empty my thoughts that I had this weird realization, and I'm just going to share this with you because this is the way it wants to come forward, because I flick it to it. So okay, let's go there. I had this weird realization. I was listening to this lady, and she was, you know, talking. She was having difficulty with her thought processes, and it was kind of like she was here, she was there, she was here, she was there. And I was just like, you know, da 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 da. And I'm sharing my wisdom, I'm sharing my guidance. And I had to pull back. I had to pull it all the way back because I realized that I was sharing that kind of guidance from a position of, I don't have that struggle anymore. Like, besides the healing phases, I don't really have lots of thoughts. I have a thought that guides me through, and I follow that whole thought form to its fruition. You know, I've learned how to calm the mind. I've learned how to clear it. And so I'll have most of my day really not thinking like weird, oh no, that's wrong. I'll say weird thoughts, but no, I have weird thoughts. My brain is like, I have less energy on being vigilant and guarded and I have more energy to receive. You know, nanu kind of shit, picking up heaps of shit, and it's kind of like a cup. You know, the cup, my cup is filled with whatever Spirit wants to share, knowledge, information, wisdom, right? And I had to recognize that that was an ego. I had to recognize that I was like, oh man, I'm so awesome. I don't even have that struggle anymore. And then I was like, but that struggle kept me real, you know? That thought process, that constant thinking and planning and da-da-da-da-da, that kept me real because I could always discern that way. And so, yes, it's easy for me to say, hey, you need to go that way. That's so good for you. You know, go. But that person has to come to the realization themselves. So it feels like for you that I could give you all this information and advice, but you have to choose to do the walk. You have to choose to take on what you want and what you don't want. And sometimes the things that I say may be really elevated up here, and that may not be helpful to you who may still be just building those steps up there. You know, like, I think why I love the synergy space and really tuning in is that it brings me back to earth. And I just feel like for you, it's like I spend a lot of time up here or out of here. You know, like you'll either be fully in the brain and engaged, or you kind of just zone out. And so I feel like Spirit is actually saying, you know, you need to come back to the heart. But this is something I always say to you, you got to get into your heart, my friend, because that's where you really are. All these other parts of you are just fragments, but the core of you is, when I look at you, when I was going, where's your core? It went straight here. I'm going to bring it back to the core so I can hear you and not everybody else. And they may not be making lots of noise, but their energy speaks. You know, energy speaks out loud. And so sometimes it can be very confusing for you to make clear and precise decisions. And sometimes you might have a fear that that may go wrong for you. And sometimes it may have. You know, like, we can only do what we can do. And I'm not saying it's based on luck or the universe. Sometimes we just do the right thing at the wrong time, or with the wrong people. It doesn't mean that the thought or the idea wasn't bad. So it feels like you got a bag of ideas. You got a bag of ideas, my friend. You need to pluck that one seed that's gonna grow. I'm struggling because it's like it's gonna grow. It's gonna be a big, large tree of good shit. But you got to take that risk, right? And so a lot of people will sit in here and they'll be planning everything here. But don't forget, you work better when you engage all your brains, right? Which is your gut instinct. Like, that's a brain because it's nerves and it receives information. And we all know if it don't feel right in the gut, something's not in balance, right? Your heart brain, your heart intelligence. Because here's your core. This is where you sit. You know, your life force is here. It gets heaps of information, but it processes it through emotions and feelings. And then your brain is a filtration system, stores memory and has thinking processes, but it can't discern whether a bad thought is bad or a good thought is a good thought. It's just a thought. And so you have to learn to get these three to work all together. I used to say these two, but I found it engaging with like a better diet and shit. You need your gut too. You need your gut. And when that's clear and that's working well, all three of these will work well. So I suggest to you, more heads are better than one. And the cleanest possible way of saying that maybe it's time for you to collaborate with others to grab that one idea as well. So I'm saying 3 brains, which could be within you, or it could be 3 other people. But it feels like the way that it's like a group or something like that. You know what I mean? That you can work and really get things going for you in the background. Because it's kind of like, I like seeing you giggle. It's like, oh, she knows, all right. Because I think that's kind of like, for me, a confirmation that you're actually thinking that. But the hardest part is to trust that you're making the right decisions and that you're moving from the right place. But that's actually, I feel like, I'm going to be honest, I feel okay with knowing that if you don't have 100% trust in yourself, you have a good percentage. Like, it's not like 10%, you know, because the things you do want to move in towards or really develop in your life, you have a fairly good understanding about what they are. And that's the thing about you. So I'm going to say, even though you may not fully trust others, there's a part of you that has a high percentage of trusting yourself. Because it's interesting, but do you, well, I guess we all do that. Do you talk to yourself as if you're another person? Because it's weird, because the way that I see you is that I'm seeing from the outside of you. It's like I'm looking at you, but I'm looking outside of you. But I'm looking through your eyes, so it's hard to describe what I'm seeing. It's like I'm looking through your eyes at you. And I was talking about this the other day, with one of my ladies in here, with friends in here. And I was saying, you know, when you really sort of close down everything and you look at yourself, do you see yourself from outside of your body? Like, can you see, you know, so when you look at yourself and you envision yourself, can you actually see from behind? Even though your eyes aren't there, but you can see behind you. It's kind of like, weirdly, it feels like you do a lot of talking to yourself, you know, processing and thinking a lot. So introducing some kind of meditation in between that will allow that thought process to become clearer. So I'm just going to put it out there. Might need to go do some meditation. Shut the mind down and get out of vigilance. So let's pull some cards. Let's pull a card from the animal, God, unknown animal spirit. Alright. Oh, you got two. Both of them are birds. Been getting a lot of spiritual messages. Dreams. Yeah. A lot of stuff been coming up for you too. I feel that. I felt that in my gut. Yeah. It was just like, boof. So I know, yes. You're interesting. That's why. Thank you. So, it's funny because I just shot an image in my head. So if you can hear me talking to myself, it's not, I'm actually not actually talking to myself. It's just acknowledging the imagery and the things that I hear. So you got the vulture, which I love the vulture. It's actually a really important card, the vulture. And you got the crow, but the crow is in reverse. So there is definitely a need to take notice of this card. So for me, the vulture and the crow are an interesting combination because both of them are kind of like around life and death, you know. The vulture comes in when there's a need for clearing, when there's a need to clear the old things away. So I do feel like you've been in a lot of shadow work. Oh, your health. Okay. Yeah, see, the vulture talks about cleanse. That's why the gut. That's why the gut. That's why I was like, oh, I felt that in my gut. May not be your gut, but it just feels like that would be an area to look at, like gut health. Gut health is important. So you got the vulture here. We're going to read the message, not the message, but the meaning of the card, vulture. And like what I'm getting from this is that's that raised position. Like I keep seeing you from outside of yourself. So I don't know if you've been really, really sick to the point where you're not feeling like you're in your body at times, like you're tapping out. So just be mindful of that. I did think that it might be the astral realm because it's kind of like the vulture for me is like the cloak of invisibility. Because if you have a look at the card, you know, she's got this purple glow around her. But there's always this is also about spiritual cleansing. So a bit of hygiene, my friend, spiritual hygiene. That won't go amiss. Bit of grounding, bit of meditation. Feels like they're necessary at this time to tune into your body if that's what you need. But like for the way that it's going on, it's kind of like, you know, this is in the mind. this is the air element, right? So that's thoughts about health style, you know, healthy living, health style, because you're starting to notice things, right? And then you got the crow coming here, and here's in reverse, which I don't like the crow in reverse, because this is usually a message from the other side, right? And when it's in reverse, it's kind of like not getting the message intuitively or spiritually, or they're usually, you know, a message from the other side. So, and then you've got the vulture, who is about spiritual cleansing, you know, and they're usually in between. So there's a lot of in between spaces, like dream spaces in here, dream spaces. But okay, just yep. So what I'm getting for you is that there's actually a thought, or that's what I was getting, holding that. There's actually a thought or an idea that's been sitting with you that you may not have spent any time or focused on, and I think you really need to think about doing that more, or allowing that insight or intuitive knowing to come in, because it just feels like this crow's got something to say. Both air elements, so you know, birds, that makes sense. But there's a part of you, like, I'm going to be honest, my friend, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that you have some really bad habits that need adjustment within your health, whichever way that means. So that could be mental health, spiritual health, physical health, okay? And so when we got the vulture here, both these cards are like speaking a lot. So there's things that need to be heard and said to you that you may not be necessarily willing to listen to. So there's a spiritual cleansing that needs to come in, because you might have been with toxic people and toxic environments, and that energy may be still with you. So, as you know, I'm sorry if I'm not reading the... I thought... Okay, I'm just reading your comments. Sorry. And there's a part of you that's clinging on to this, though, because you internalize everything. Everything goes in here. You know, you could sort of like, there could be, you could be, what's an outcome of that? Yeah, restricting your food, not eating right, like eating but not eating a lot, or not eating the right things. So just remember that you have to nourish yourself to be in a sustainable energy. When we're not nourishing ourselves, when we're not eating right, when we're not looking after our body, we go into malnourishment. And the downside to malnourishment is poor health, but also poor thinking, poor doing, poor feelings. You know, it all coordinates. And so you really have to lift that up, my friend, because the crow here wants to elevate. When they bring in an egg, that usually means that they're bringing in some kind of potential, right? Eggs are potential. Once that hatches into the world, it is basically. So it's kind of like you're resisting a change, because right now, like, if I'm honest, I'm just going to sit with this and be in this, and that's sensible, but you can't be in that for too long, otherwise you get used to it. What is that? What did that lady say? You know, you can't sit in it too long, or you actually can't tell the difference. And maybe that's where you're at, that you need to be able to discern the difference between who's good for you and who's not. Yeah, sorry, it's just coming in so much like this. Because you know, you're always planning for the bad. You're always planning for negative outcomes. Even though you start off with a positive thought, it takes you to negative town quite fast. And that could be a past thing. That could just be a behavior that's sort of creeping back in. So just be mindful of that, because there's a part of you that you're denying, and that is your spiritual side. But it's hard to fully embrace that if you're not doing the clearing and the healing that goes alongside it. Okay? So enough of that lecture. Let's pull some fairy cards. Sorry, my friend. It's just like, you know, like holding on to old patterns and behaviors that do not serve you anymore. And the thing is, you know they don't serve you, And there's there's a part that's hard to change, that's all. And you're not alone in this. Oh, my friend. Your cards. Okay, I'm just going to point something out to these cards. So you got 3, you got 2 that came out together, and then you got 1 that fell out by itself naturally. So if you have a look, you got Flaff the footer. You can see his legs are bent, right? And then you've got Lozgana. She's the fairy frog princess. Her legs are bent. And you got Mako Amako. His legs are bent. So you do feel stuck, like you can't move forward. I know this is not negative, this is just being truthful, and sometimes that can feel really hard. Flaff the footer means you're unsure about what next move, what is the next step, but we talked about that. You got a bag full of ideas, my friend. Pick one and go with it. Coordinate with others or collaborate with others. More heads, more thinking power creates more flow, more amplification to manifestation. You got Flaff the footer there. You know, he gets a bit tired, his legs get weak, and he feels like he can't move forward, and so he'll sit there. That can talk about you could be just unable to move. You may be feeling unwell, unhealthy, and you know, you don't physically have the energy, so it just feels like there's hardship there. And then the next one is Lozgana, and she's one of my favorite ones too out of the fairy princesses, because she, or the fae, but fairy princesses, because she's an adventurer. She takes risks. She can move in the dark waters and the pure waters. Like, she can move in and out of both, and that's how I kind of described you. It's like, you know, you take the good with the bad, you know, but you know, you're never fully saying it's always going to be just good, because there's a part of you that still believes that something negative will come up. And so with Lozgana here, and I'm just going to show her at the back because, you know, yeah, feminine images. She leaps into action. Literally, yes, we know frogs do. She has those characteristics. She's unafraid. She's adventurous. She doesn't discern between good and bad. She just does, because it's like a natural thing for her to do, to explore, and she's not afraid to explore. Okay, but when you pair them up with Mikala Mako here, Mako Mako is kind of like an immature side, an immature child sometimes. And that can represent another adult. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. It's like, I want to go and do this. And this person's like, nah, you know, nah, man. I don't want to do that. It just feels like they want to have more fun than actual work, whereas you're prepared to get out there and do the work, and this person may be just not. They have an inability to move too, but it's a choice. See here with Flaff, he's actually been moving a lot and he's become weakened because of it, you know. But with Miko and Mako, just don't want to do anything. They just don't want to help. They don't want to play. They don't want to do anything but play, and it becomes really tiring to Lozgana, and so she can get really angry. She'll be like, me, basically. You know what I mean? And then it's a vicious cycle, and then we go back to vulture. So I just feel like you feel a little stuck based on decisions and feelings that you've got. That there's a part of you that wants to just leap out and do the things that you need to do, but you are being, this could be your own inner child too. That doesn't necessarily have to be another person. That conflict could be going on inside of you too. Like I said, there's a part of you that's good, and then there's a part of you that's still heavy and the thing. I just feel like Mikala Mako is kind of playing up. You know, he's playing up, and he might be playing up in here or in here. So it just depends how that resonates for you. And what I want to say about that is, and I said it right at the beginning, for those of us that are going through inner child healing, is that we're the life coaches for our inner child. We're bringing our inner child from the past to the here and now. Okay? And if we don't life coach our and love our inner child, there will always be a part of us that's stuck in the past, and that past may have been very disappointing to us. Do you know what I mean by that? And so I feel like the way that this is coming forward is for you to recognize that there may be belief systems, foundational core memories, or thoughts that are working against you right now, that are stopping you from having the courage or the knowledge or the strength or the know-how, can do. What is that? Ingenuity to get the hell out there and do what you're made to do, which is adventure. You know, it's like, I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say it, my friend. Some of us, we're destined for amazing lives. We're destined to do something amazing, and yet for most of our lives, we will live a lame and shit life. We will be, I'm not saying your life is lame and shit, but I'm just, like, my life was lame and shit. And we're fucking miserable. We're miserable. You know, and that's the truth of it. How many years of our lives are we wasting away being miserable because we have that one, I'm just being passionate, one urge to do what we need to do, and we never do it because someone inside or outside of us tells us nah. You know? And the thing is, children learn from a behavior, right? Our inner child experienced that and took that on as a belief system. This is why we have to life coach our inner child. We have to bring them to the now, because you'll always have to go back to the past and reflect on the past, and that's not always going to serve you when you're trying to move forward. It's like dragging an anchor, you know, a big huge ship anchor. You're trying to move forward, you got this anchor, the burden of life, of the past, dragging you behind everyone else. And you don't deserve to be behind, my friend. You don't deserve to be behind. You know, and that's why, that was always my thing last year. You know, we all rise together. We rise faster together, because it's that community, collective energy that allows us to do what we feel afraid to do, because there's people go, you can do it. I believe in you, and I do. There's a power here that when you decide to take that quantum leap, my friend, into another frickin' realm, you have the power and the knowledge to do so. Trust in yourself, right? Let's pull a card from the White Light Oracle to end this big old lecture. Fudge. Are you getting the message, my friend? Are you getting these messages? Are these messages sinking in? Ivory, wish-fulfilling crow. Showing up. Showing up for you. Oh, don't make me cry. I'm not crying. I think I'm famous for crying on the internet. I don't want to be famous for crying on the internet, okay? Too late. Alright, I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to stop lecturing you because I freaking love you, my friend. I want you to know that. That's why I'm getting passionate. That's why I feel upset that you feel like you're getting dragged behind. And that's why I'm encouraging you to be you. Okay, Ivory, wish-fulfilling crow. Sorry. You can have what you truly want. Such knowledge helps soften and release fears, grasping control and doubt. Have confidence that the universe hears your prayers and is even now leading you into that which you seek. You can take sanctuary within your spiritual connection whenever you need stabilization and protection against the fluctuations of the external world. No matter what is happening around you, there is a way through to the fulfillment of your potential.
And this is something I say to everybody. The reason why you're getting a lecture is because the universe loves you. The universe sees your potential. And the universe is you. Universe is you. And it wants you to be successful. It wants you to say, you know what, I'm fucking worth it. I'm fucking worth it. I said that to myself too, you know, years ago. And I didn't even believe it 100%. But once I decided to step out, I had to show up. I had to show up for myself. And I remember sitting in a masterclass on Sunday with the lovely Jenna. And she said, just imagine, you know, she says, think of, you know, your most significant spiritual role model, right? And she says, think of all the knowledge and that you've learnt from them. And then she said, just imagine if they didn't show up. Just imagine how many people wouldn't have the kind of healing and knowledge that they have now because they decided, nah, I'm not going to show up. And I think about myself not showing up. I think about the choices that I might have made not showing up. And how many people may still be suffering now. You know, just me, insignificant me. I'm saying it like that, but that's not how I think. But you know, just one person. So just imagine many of us being led by our hearts, following our passions, and taking that quantum leap into a whole nother level, my friend. Are you not deserving? I think you are. And I'm sorry for getting upset, because I always do. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I appreciate you too, my friend. That hits me hard, that's all. Because I think, you know, when I ask to look at your core, when I go straight for your core, I can see your beauty, your energy. And then I often look at myself like that too, and I was like, wow, Sonia, you're amazing. And I love the way that my skill sets allow me to see others' lights, you know, their light inside, and see their unlimited potential, you know. And this is something that we have to understand. The universe doesn't see you on the outside. The universe sees you on the inside. That's why it's telling you you got what it takes. That's why it's telling you you've got all the energy and power to get the hell out of wherever you are right now. And that's not physically, but just mentally, energetically, you know, your own body, mind, soul. You know you're ready for transformation. Time to let it happen. Very welcome, my friend. Okay, guys, I can see everyone asking for free readings. So what I'm going to ask my lovely one of you mods out there is if you could take 5 names and we'll get into the free side. Oh, thank you, my friend. Kia ora. Thank you for coming in. Yeah. And then we'll just start the list and we'll get into it. And so I've got, yeah, okay. Oh shit, sorry guys, I can see Kim O'Hara. Lucky Kim. Oh, sorry guys, I just got one more that came in. Is Kim in here, please? I just saw it now. I'm sorry, I didn't see it before. Just looking. Okay, awesome. Okay, Kim. I'm going to do Kim, but we'll get that list ready. Please stay in. And we'll get into it. Sorry, Kim. Sorry that I only just saw that now. It's just so in the moment. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your generosity. And then we'll take that list and then we'll go straight into it, okay? Whew. Let me just get out of that, get into this. Okay, Kim, if you'd like to take a deep breath. Breathing slowly and deeply. Interesting. So it's weird. Because I can hear wind in yours, like literally, like the kind of wind that you hear on an autumn day when the wind's going through the leaves. It was like shh, like that. So the way that I'm going to describe this to you is that when we look at that element, just that element alone, it talks about, you know, it's the air element. Air elements are about thoughts, and there's a shifting change. And because it reminded me of autumn is about releasing. So we got to look at the symbols, right? So when we look at the symbols or the symbology in which comes in, it tells me that there's a lot of changes in the way you're thinking, because I feel like you've done a lot of letting go or healing recently. And you're trying to make your way. So, making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and I'm homebound. So, I love that because it kind of feels like, quite upbeat, but that whole song is kind of like, you know, I'm getting images of the video, but the way my first impression was that, like, you're working hard to bring everything back home, coming to your heart. And that's been hard. I think it's not so much that it's been hard. I think it's just in the past, the heart for you hasn't always been your best friend. And that's just simply because we don't know how to use it. We get told that it's for someone else, but we have to learn that it's for us first. You know, like, to be a good, loving person, you give your heart out to other people. But then we lose our heart energy, and we have to actually reclaim it and go through that healing process. So it's kind of like, I like that. You know who you want to give your heart to, and you know who you won't. So it's like, what was that? It's not that you're fussy or particular, or you might be fussy in particular, but it just feels like, you know, the way that I felt it was like, I'm going to take that back, and I'm going to take that back, and I'm going to take this from you, and I'm going to take that from you, okay, because that's mine. And it's like you're having to have these little arguments with either other people or yourself, and you're like, but that's, you know, I gave that to you, so I want it back. And I just feel like it's like my love, you know, my love, you know, give it back to me. Because I think you're going through a process of reclaiming yourself. I think you're going through a process of saying, you know what, I'm going to live this life, but I'm going to live it on my terms. Like, there's a lot, the way that it's coming is like, oh, you know, there's a part of you, and I'm just going to say it may not be in full fruition right now, may not be manifesting itself clearly, but there's a part of you that's like, you know, I don't care about societal conditioning anymore. I don't want to fit in the status quo. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be me, you know. And so the taking back your energy was part of your sacred boundaries that you were creating from people who have used you or just not appreciated your presence. And it's kind of like, you're a giver. You've spent years giving. So that is a bad habit to break. And there's nothing wrong with giving and being of service, but giving until you're empty is when you're actually self-sabotaging, right? Because when you're empty, your energy is unsustainable, and you move into an unsustainable heart process and thought process. So there's a bit of the way that's coming in, it's like it's time for you to tune up a little bit. So I say tune up means that you're trying to make sure that you're aligning to a more authentic way of being. And you know, it's sort of like they're talking about the hair. I don't know why they said that, but they kind of just like you know, you might have changed your hairstyle, you may be thinking about it, you may be just trying to express yourself. You know, there's a few stages with it. That's why. First stage of trying to be authentic is that we change our hair, right? Same as me. So just... Okay, so I will say to you, because for some odd reason, I'm trying to see this image, but it's sort of way back in the... It says it feels like there's something that's not quite clear to you and I can't see it. But it felt like I was looking at a TV screen, like a... you know, like a video or something like that. I don't know what it is. But I will, the way that I felt this is the way I'm going to say it to you, is that you need to be careful of what you're absorbing when it comes to knowledge, especially on a spiritual path. To only resonate with the teachings and the knowings that feel right for you, because not everybody's path, not everybody's spiritual space is going to be beneficial for you, because everybody has different ways that they articulate themselves. So you have to gravitate towards the teachings and the knowings that are best enhancing your best attributes. So it's kind of like your best attributes are this. You've got like a really kind space with it, like you're very kind, but that can also be masked, because it's kind of like, well, I don't want to be weak, okay? And you're very honest. That's grown stronger over the years. It just feels like there's a lot of honesty too, but you're also polite and not inappropriate. So if it's not inappropriate to say that truth, you will just sort of like, oh no, I'll just step back and just leave it for another time. So that means you're very considerate of others. They say you have many fine attributes. To list them off, we'll be here forever. And so it just feels like there's a lot of positive things about you, but there's a lot of spaces in which you have to stand behind those boundaries, because you may have people in your life that actually just don't have any boundaries and don't like boundaries. So just be mindful of that. So I did get the song sending out an SOS. So there does feel like there's a little bit of urgency to the energy right now, which is interesting. And it just brings me back. So it's like they're looping these symbols over and over. And so it's like my goal is to slow that process down, to slow that thought process down, so I can understand more clearly. So it keeps coming back around to the blowing of the winds. So I do think you have high functioning overthinking. But you do have a lovely way. It's interesting. And that's literally what it is, isn't it? I'm going to say it this way, but it may not be exactly like that, but it might be similar. You're taking notice of nature. That's how it feels, because it's like, I'm getting all the wind, and then I'm like seeing Pocahontas, and I'm hearing like there's a lot of there's a lot of spiritual influences that you have coming in, and so I'm just like, which one is the best one? And it's when it's colors of the wind. That's it, fudge. And she's like, you think you just take me to the phrase. You think you're on whatever land you land upon, you know. It's just like talking about every rock, every leaf, everything has a name, you know, has a personality. Like it just feels like you're really tapping into different elements, and so that came in abruptly too. So that might also be a surprise to you. So it just feels like you're taking a lot more notice of nature. That's why it came in with the winds. And because in Pocahontas, sorry, I know that movie's not the best for our native brothers and sisters, but it just feels like the wind rushes through her hair while she's singing that song. Have you oh God, don't make me sing. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Like there's things about you that you're starting to really tune in. That's what's tune in, tune up, right? Like you're very activated, and I think it's just a little, so when I was seeing that TV screen move away, I think you are stepping away from other spiritual influences, and I don't mean influencers, but influences that no longer serve your highest good. Like I feel like you're less seeking and you're now more finding, and that's I love that. I love it when we're in finding. I love it. It's because we find treasure in everything. We find value in everything. We see value in everything. And then we start feeling and seeing value in ourselves. And the thing is, you know, like for me, nature has been one of the most beautiful healing tools that we always had but never knew we needed until it was time. Like we're not able to perceive that knowing until it's time for us to know. And it's kind of like tuning in more. So I don't know if you're actually going out in nature, or maybe the urge to go out into nature is what's really amplifying that urge to connect there. But it's kind of like, you know, you're creating your own practices and spiritual routines to stay in balance and connected, which I find very fine actually, and love that a lot. So there's and yet weirdly maybe you might be asking about a significant other, because for some odd reason it's like, well, you know, like I am doing a lot of good stuff for me, so I'm just, you know, a lot of people, I tell you what, a lot of people, they really want to know stuff about themselves, but in the back of their mind there's like, you know, either is there someone else for me, or is the person I'm with, you know, are they worthy? And all we know, love takes work. It's not a fairy tale, and many of us that know that there's a lot of compromising, and that even a soulmate, even someone who comes in as a soulmate, can sometimes be bad for us. Even though we feel so loving and bonded to them, sometimes that bond is not always positive. So, you know, there are fears with things like that with other people in our lives, because we're getting so tuned up that often we believe that we will meet someone at that same level. But we may be at that level, but we have belief systems and thought forms that are not, that are still in the past. So we'll attract a certain person, and that's not necessarily someone that's elevated as well, but they could be. But it just feels like there's an energy here, and all I want to say is maybe I have good feelings, but the only way I can say about another soulmate, and this is the thing, you know, because that's just how I do things, is that I don't really talk about love readings, because, well, when you really learn, love is within, and anyone that you connect to, it's really more attraction than love, okay? But they get to either amplify or diminish that love that you have within, okay? So I just feel like I want to say this. Is this personal value? I say maybe, because it just depends on what you believe value really is to you. They may have a great character. They may have an amazing job, personality, but do they light you up? Do they make you feel loved, appreciated? Or are they just lame? We never know, because until that person chooses to be their authentic self, they'll never fully reveal who they are, and it's not for me to say whether they're good or bad. And so I just say maybe, because everybody has the potential to be a wonderful, incredible partner. It's just whether they choose that or not, okay? So that was just a side note. Whether it relates to you or not, it just felt like that. It was sitting there. Oh, okay, let's pull a card. You got two cards. They came out together. Ooh. So it's interesting because the dragonfly did come up in reverse. So, you know, there's a little bit of work to do there. But you also got the wolf card. So you got the dragonfly and the wolf, which is an interesting combination. I love the way that Spirit likes to throw like a spanner in the wrench. So it's like, this is complicated. Kia ora. This is a bit complicated, but that's okay. We're going to get to the heart of it. We're going to see what's going on. So the dragonfly for me is about swift movement. So in reverse, maybe that movement's not as fast as you would like. I think you really want some fast movement going on there, but also if you can't articulate what you want to another or to within yourself, it's really difficult for the universe to bring that to you. So I always say this to people, you know, people can't always read your mind. They can't always read your mind. Sometimes they'll not really know what's going on inside you. And so you have to really learn, because you know there's that blue color in the back that represents, for me, the throat chakra. The dragonfly is, for me, the third eye. So there's a lot of upper chakras connected to you, but in reverse means there might be a little bit out of balance because our thinking process has taken over, and we may be moving through a lot of thinking and feeling, if this makes sense. And so it does feel, with the wolf coming in. See, I was asking, this is my one card that I asked the question, is it the lone wolf or is it the leader of the pack, right? Because these are songs I get. And they said leader of the pack. So for me, this could be either or. This could be about simply you or another. Whatever it is, it feels like I want to bring it all together. That's how it feels. It's like I want this to be one. I want this to be one. So that's the only way I can bring that forward. But you might be polar opposites. So that could be also about shadow work. You might have to do some shadow work to bring yourself to wholeness, you know. Or it could be, I don't know about that. Because I'm going to be honest, the wolf energy seems quite independent. Like the wolf energy tells me I might have gone out into the world and explored a lot on my own. You know, I might often feel quite comfortable on my own. I may not necessarily always want to be whole or together. And so that can be very difficult with the dragonfly, because the dragonfly wants now. And so there might be a part of you that's needing to be a little bit more patient with this. Let things grow. Let things flow. And that's really hard. The dragonfly's like, I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. You know, and that's a very human thing. So never think that's a bad thing. Okay. So we're going to drink. We're going to read. I was going to say drink. I must need a drink. I'm going to drink. I'm just drinking. On one sec. Drink the dragonfly. I'm going to read the dragonfly. And it says, Master of Light, Illusion and the Mind. It says, when in balance, sees clearly, joyful, magical. When out of balance, can't concentrate, busy mind. To bring it into balance, focus on the breath. That's what I was talking about, spiritual routines. Maybe it's time to get back into your spiritual routines. Or if they're not working the way that they should or usually do, then change them. So sometimes I stand, sometimes I sit, sometimes I dance. Sometimes that's my meditation, is a dancing meditation, movement, you know, because I got to move the energies around in my body, because I need to clear out spaces. And by outputting energy, pushing energy outwards, it's another way of discharging the energy that's building up through thought. Because the more you think, and this is something that we have to learn, the more you think, the more you create energy. And if you're not clearing that energy out, you're going to amass a lot of energy here, and you'll feel it. Pressure, insomnia, headaches, negative thought forms, negative thinking, you know. And what we need to learn to do is, and the downside is that if you're having a lot of kinetic build-up, is that you'll start attracting negative things. And that's for real, because that's their job, you know. And that's the thing about, we have to realize everything has a reason, and so we just have to be mindful of that. So we never want to go into kinetic overload, because you're going to then attract astral entities into your energy, and that's scary for people, so I won't go on too much about that. And yeah, that's the truth, isn't it? And you know, we have to be mindful of all that thinking. And so with the wolf energy, I don't know, I just feel like they're kind of just happy with how things are for now. Because, you know, in the end with the wolf, they, you know, they eventually will their instinctual space is to come together and join a pack. So it just feels like, you know, I feel like this wolf has been through the ringer and might be a little bit afraid to come into wholeness. And so I'll just say that like that. I know that sounds weird, but I just feel like they need time. They're very wise, they're very loving, and they have keen instincts. Like, this is the hunter-gatherer, this is a providing energy. Yeah, that's the masculine energy, right? In a form that is powerful and strong, but can be very kind and protective, you know. So we have to just decide on what attributes we value the most and how much of that we're receiving from another. That comes down to discernment. So I know the waiting game sucks. So can we just pull some cards for the Fairy Oracle? Oh, just one card. You keep getting them in chunks. They keep wanting to come out all together. Thank you. One at a time. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got the Bright Mother, and I have to show, this is like, I have to put it like this. The Bright Mother, okay. That's moon energy, that's feminine energy. And then you've got the Green Woman. So you've got two womanly energies coming forward. Thank you, my friend. And it feels like, you know, I'm going to be honest, it feels like, I just heard, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. So that's interesting. It's funny too, because like if you have a look, I know it's not a wolf, but you know, it kind of, see, like this, and the home. So there's lots of symbology in here that I can see that you may not be able to see. There's a part of you that really wants to set up deep roots, like you want to create something. It could be fortifying your space, your home, your children. But see, with the Green Woman, she's wild. She's a wild woman. She does everything as she feels guided to do. She has no, like I said, that was you right at the beginning, no care for societal conditioning. This is me. I create a strong and solid foundational home for my heart, or for the people I love, you know. And that's what that whole thing was like, you know, I'm taking this back and I'm keeping this with me. So there's a part of you that often may not feel easy or give yourself over so easy to others. And the Bright Mother, I think that you spend a lot of time being a mature person. You know, there was a lot of thought to the things that you did. Like when I think about the Bright Mother, she's caring, she's kind, she's nurturing. And you've always had these two sides. So that could also mean that it's not about another, but it just feels like that energy feels external. I don't know why that comes in like that. But, you know, there's a part of you that also, it's like I've spent so much time doing what I thought I had to do, but now I just want to be me, you know? And I feel like Spirit's supporting that, because the thing is, this is the thing we have to understand. It's usually in the act of being you that you find the people that deserve you. In being you and adventuring out and doing you, you end up finding the people that actually dig you, that get you, that value you. And it's kind of like, maybe you just gotta give 0 fucks and do this shit, you know, like, be you. If there's another that's in your thing, are they going to come towards you better? Well, while you're waiting, you might as well go find more out about yourself. You know, you might as well go and explore yourself, because there's a wild space within you that you know you want to tap into. And you know, it's interesting because yours always brought in a lot of nature. And if you have a look at the Wild Woman, she's a tree. She's a tree. You know? So I just feel like there's a bit of ancestral stuff I say ancestral, but it's intergenerational, right? That you have to really sort out, so that you can feel safe and secure with the people in your life, so that you can be soft and wild. You can be paradoxical, my friend. You can be paralogical either. You know, you can believe this is true and this is true, and there's enough space for them to be true. Paradoxical means like you can be one way or the other too. So I just think like you're thinking outside the lines now. Long story short. Live long, live strong, you know. That's just how I feel. I'm going to pull a card from the White Light Oracle. And if you have any questions you want to ask, this is a good time to ask. Oh, before I round it up and forget to ask if you have questions. There's one that landed on the ground. Ooh. You got Spirit Bear. 369 Hertz. Number 15, which breaks down to a 6. Okay. I love the Spirit Bear. Far out, right there. It looked like there was a hand there. Hey, it looks like a hand. But it's fur. Looked like someone was holding the bear. Sorry. That was not what just looked like in my glasses. Number 15. Let's have a look where we're at. Okay, here you go. Spirit Bear of 369 Hertz. This could be a good meditation for you to listen to afterwards, is the frequency of 369 Hertz. Sorry, 96 Hertz. 69 Hertz, sorry. 96 Hertz. It says, you are being healed from guilt and fear. Such emotions will no longer steal your personal power or dissuade you from confidence, happiness, and realizing your own worth. No matter how unlikely it may seem, you are going to emerge from a spiritual winter into light and life. The heavenly ordained time for your liberation, healing, and emergence is much closer than you realize. Abundant blessings are stirring and shall soon manifest. So 369 Hertz is deeply nourishing, nurturing, and protective. It is the heart frequency of the Universal Mother. You know, it's interesting. Kim, do you have a mother wound or an issue with your mum? You may not. It's just the way that that came in. Really strong. And because you've got the bright mother and you've got the green woman. They're kind of rebelling against the bright mother. If you ever look at her, she can be very rebellious. You might actually just miss your mum. It might not be a wound. It could be things like that. She could be here or with you. You know, I'm just saying. But it just felt like there's a theme here. And there might be a little bit of work. It just what I was talking about with the green woman. Like there's a bit of healing of the roots, you know, root system of your tree. That you may need to sit with and think about, because there's changes happening in your life, you know, big changes, I feel, because it's kind of like with that green woman, there's a part of you that wants to really just step out of the shell or the shadow of something. And I just want to read the frequency of 396 Hertz is deeply nourishing, nurturing, and protective. It is the heart frequency of the Universal Mother protecting her young, deflecting negativity and refusing to overly condition the youthful mind. She looks out for them and provides warnings lest they wander too far from their authentic path. But she also encourages the child to learn who they are, to courageously explore their world and to enjoy their freedom. Irrespective of our personal experience with our biological mother, the divine mother energy in the soul is loving, protective, available, and kind. This inner mother love enables us to develop our own sense of personal value, belonging, and home. In connection with the inner divine mother, we feel loved, wanted, and held. We know ourselves well enough to understand that what we need, and we value ourselves we know ourselves well enough to understand what we need, and we value ourselves enough to live in such a way that our needs are met. That was a big theme for you too, was that, you know, you had to choose what was valuable to you. You had to make that choice and define that, because sometimes we think what someone values should be how it is, like the status quo, but it's not always the case. That's not always, and that's not always logical too, you know, to be honest, because that person may be far removed from your situation, your environment, your history, and yet they provide the status quo on what relationships with our parents, with our family members, with our loved ones look like, and it doesn't make sense. You have to provide that bar, and here's what I'm saying, you raise that bar, now you meet the bar. You know, and it's hard to maintain the bar. That might have been in another reading actually, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to maintain that bar, and we have to choose what's the most important to us, and that will create the value that we want. But while you're waiting for all of this to come in together or to wholeness, you may as well choose how you show up in the world. That could be changing the way you look. That could be changing the way you are, the way you behave. You know, it could be just a change, or just saying, well, today I'm gonna choose to work in a job that I like. You know, like, it can be subtle changes. It can be just like, today instead of going to that coffee place, I'm going to go to this to provide me a different experience. Subtle little changes. It just feels like there's a little bit of family healing that needs to happen, whether that's you, the mother, or your own mother, or with your own divine earth mother, you know, the mother earth, sorry, and just allow your senses and everything to settle. So I often look at people's energy, and if you think about it, they're like half earth, half water, right? Half flesh and half spirit. But they're a cup that's like this. So when you look at their energy, it's like the mud and the water are mixed together. But you know, eventually once that cup is placed down and settles, the sediment goes to the bottom, and then you can actually drink the water on top. Well, would you, if you wanted to, if you had to survive? But you know, there's a difference, and so maybe it's just really about settling down the thoughts, getting into some good spiritual maintenance and or hygiene, and really learning and loving yourself better. You know, it could be as simple as that, and everything else will flow naturally if you're following what you truly desire in your life and want for you in your life. Okay, my friend? So hopefully that's okay with you. You might have a wound. Yeah, I do too. Like seriously. But as the adult in the here and now, I can provide forgiveness, you know, and compassion, because there's things that we know now as mothers that we might blame on our mother for things that they didn't do, or because probably they didn't know, or if they did know, then they may have also been wounded. So we don't know unless we do know. You know what I mean? Didn't know, or if they did know, then they may have also been wounded. So we don't know unless we do know. You know what I mean? And it may not be bad, it just may be that it's time to create a better connection there as well. So yeah, thank you, Kim. I hope that serves you. I send this message to you with lots of love and good intentions. I hope it helps you now and in the future. Thank you, and take care of yourself, my friend. Yes. Okay, guys, I think that was it. And now we can get into the free readings. I'm just checking before I move on and say let's do the list, because I know this has been going on for ages. We've got an hour. Just making sure. Alright, cool. That's us. Let's get into the free readings. Okay, Anne-Marie, Kuda, Ro, Lucky Lou. Ah, yes, and Pure Soul, Sister Rising. Please have patience. These are the free readings too. So this is cool. Let's put those over there. Move those out of the way. You get the wild unknown animals tonight. I was just being gentle on myself because I could just intuitively do the readings. Thank you, my friend. I could intuitively give the readings, or I could just make it a little bit easier and pull cards. First live back in ages. Sorry, just going to discharge that. Thank you to everybody that paid for a reading tonight. I appreciate you all. And I'm sorry I took forever with every single reading, because that's just what I do. Alright, here we go. So Anne-Marie, thank you for your patience. Let's quickly take a drink. If you'd like to take a breath and get nice and relaxed in your energy. I'm going to pull a card and then intuitively speak, so that we can sort of do two birds, one stone. Anne-Marie, message for your highest good, please. Okay, thank you. So, you got the otter. I love the otter. This is like my favourite card in this deck, besides the horse and the dragon, and this is one of the great ones. And I'm just going to read the meaning to you, then I'll intuitively talk, because I think that's probably a better way to do it. That way we know where we're going. Otter. So, and I'm just going to say this because you know that sort of like when I ask for your energy and it feels a certain way when I pull the card. I'm going to be honest. And no, I felt that because of my own tooth situation. But when I pulled this card from the deck, it felt like I was pulling a tooth. It literally felt like it. It's like, just give me the card. You know, like, I think you struggle with this part. That's all I want to say. Okay, so it says otter, unobstructed joy, playfulness, contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter, represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any age. They have a giddiness, I have to be mindful of my words. They have a giddiness and reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. So when in balance, full of love, needs nothing. Okay? When out of balance, gloomy, sighs, makes silly excuses. So it's weird that they say it like that. To bring into balance, dance, party, or celebration. Have you got your groove on lately? I know this is dry July for many of us, but sometimes we've got to go shake our Y2C. And I just feel like you need to, like that's what I was talking about the other reading, was sometimes we've got to move our bodies to get energy out. We need that output because this is going off too much and it stalls. So we need to learn to manage our energy better, because the otter really is like heart space. Oh, that hurt. Heart space, but that's what I mean. It's like when I hit that hurts, and I don't know why it hurts when I'm thinking about your energy, because you got a wound there. So accessing your heart is not always easy because you're not heart dominant, but you are naturally, if you allowed this energy center to really live vicariously through the joyful things that you do. So it's kind of like, I'm not saying that you're heartless or anything like that, but I just think you really have to work hard to connect in, and there's still sensitivity around some issues with you. And so I feel like with the otter, you can be very focused on love, and sometimes when we're so focused on love that it actually makes it harder to love, because we're so much in the technical aspects of things, like in the details. And love really is about flow, fluidity. It just comes to you with ease. It just lifts your body. It just flows through your body, and it emanates out your heart. So it's kind of like you've got to let yourself get into the groove so you can experience this better. Because it's like you've got energy stuck, you know. It just feels like that, like a bit stiff. Like, have you been having a stiff back, sore back? Because that's how I feel. My back is sore. And it's just like, oh, I need to get that out of me. And so that's why sometimes you see my meditations, or when I'm grounding in the morning, I'm dancing. I'm moving, I'm walking around. I can be literally meditating, walking around in circles. Because it's just like that's how my energy wants to flow today. So I just feel like with you, relax. Your heart is fine. You know, you've lived life and you've learnt some hard lessons around what life can teach us. And it doesn't mean that your heart is weak, that it needs specific attention. It just needs you to release the need to constantly keep it safe, and the worry that it might always get hurt. Because that's a 50-50 chance with anyone, even if they're the best person in your life. They could be the best partner. They could be the best husband, wife, lover, partner. But unless you're happy, everything they do is in vain. Unless you're in love with yourself, everything they do has no value. You know what I mean? Love starts within. And that's how it feels like I want to say to you. You're the otter, you know. Time to let the love begin in your life, like really begin, without fear. And the thing about the otters that we have to understand is that they will lie on their back eating their food, exposing their bellies. They have no fear. They may be a little bit vigilant sometimes when they know there's a predator around, because that's appropriate. But when they're in joyous play, they will just float there. They have no fear of being exposed or open or vulnerable. And so maybe there's a part of you that needs to get used to being open and vulnerable, because there's a lot of, like, yeah, no, that's what I mean. Every time I hit my heart, it's like right there too, like right there on that bone piece. It's like, because that's what I call the sacred scar, right? That's where some of us have been deeply wounded by the people that we love. And we have to heal that wound. It can't always be open, because we need this to be open and active, not enclosed. Okay? I was like, but the ribs are like but they expand too. So, you know, I'm not talking biologically, I mean energetically. So I send that to you with lots of love and good intentions. I hope it helps you now and in the future. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Yeah, but let love live in you, my friend, because it wants to. It wants to. Okay, thank you. It will. You know, there's not really a process to it. It's just let it. Like, have no expectations. Like, you're feeling joy, you're feeling love. Good, it's open. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be feeling it. Thank you. Thank you, Tara. We've got Kuda photography. Lovely Kuda. Hi, Lorraine. How are you doing, my friend? Oh, lots of love to you too, Anne-Marie. Thank you for your comment. Okay, I'm here. Awesome, Kuda. Let's get into it. Let's pull a card for your highest good. Kuda, please. Thank you. That went flying out. Why do I feel hesitant to flip that over? Oh my god! That flew out of the deck, so that's interesting. You got otter too. That is so interesting, because like, oh, why am I? Same thing, my friend. Like, that's why I felt hesitant to turn that card over. So it's like, why do I feel hesitant? And it's interesting because I'm also drawn to the dolphin that's underneath. So you might have an extra card here, but that's okay. And they're both water signs, so there's a lot of emotions here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So one thing that the otter and the dolphin have in common is that they love others deeply and they're social. They're social characters. They're very openly affectionate and like PDA, you know, public displays of affection with dolphins and with otters because they love their people. So the way that I want to bring it forward for you, and even though it's similar to Anne-Marie where, you know, difficulties here, it feels like you've just got so much here that you're literally, you know, the way that I kind of describe it is like, you know how for cameras there's like a lens, and the more you open the lens the more of a shot you have. You twist the thing and the lens cap opens. It's kind of like you need to do that. Open that lens cap more here so that you can actually exude all the love, all the colour, all the beautiful aspects that you actually have to come out of you. So it's an interesting combination because it's kind of like you're ready to play. So don't play small, play big. Make a splash, you know, like it's you're going to articulate yours a lot differently because you're a different person. So it's kind of like, you know, the way that they show me, it's interesting because you got photography on the end of your name, is that they were like, you know, stop leaving the lens cap on. You know, how can you take a picture of the bigger picture when the lens cap is still on? And it's kind of like a way to connect with you, to let you know that you're only getting so much of the picture when you could have so much more. So you're only getting so much of the love or the heart energy when you could actually experience so much more. You just have to take the lens cap off to get that clear, bigger picture. Because it feels like there's a bigger picture here. And like I said, it just feels like, okay, I'm just going to say that because that came in. I was like traveling around the world taking beautiful pictures of animals. That's what, you know, even like here with the otter, focusing in and taking that shot. You know what I mean by that? Do you see it how I see it? And even with the dolphin, even though it's not the same, but there's like a circle around the dolphin. It's like, what do you call that? Spirit photography. Have I said this to you before? Because it just came in again. Like something ethereal. That's another word that was coming in before, and I looked that up. Ethereal is light and delicate, too perfect to be of this earth. So it just feels like, yeah, the way I'm saying spirit photography, you know, like the spirit of the otter, the spirit of the dolphin. That way when people look at a picture, they don't just say, oh, that's a cute dolphin. They're like, oh, that dolphin is amazing, you know, because they can feel, oh, sorry, I know it sounds weird. It's like, oh, like, I just want people to feel things when they look at my images, you know, things like that. So that also comes right back in the circle to you, you know. Are you playing it small when it comes to being passion-led or led by your heart? Or are you really wanting to get into, you know, a bigger pond or a bigger ocean and actually have an adventure with all of this? Because it feels like, you know, life is too short to play small. And that's even a lesson I've been taught recently. I had to choose destiny or fate because fate was just throwing me around, and I was like, you know, I'll just go with the flow. And that's good. Or you can choose a destiny of your liking, which is a destination of your choice. You know, take that risk, put yourself out there, do the things that you need to do. Because I feel like you just get nature. You just get it. You just look at something and see the beauty of something. You know, you feel things. That's why you do what you do. And it's kind of like when we look at nature like that, we're actually admiring ourselves, because the earth is a reflection of our beauty and our diversity within. So I think you're a little bit sensitive about that too. You're also an artist, so you're sensitive about your craft. So it's always hard taking a beautiful shot and maybe feeling criticism. But you know, a dolphin don't give a crap whether the person likes them or not. So Be a dolphin. I don't know, I just that's pretty much what I'm feeling in these two cards, this combination, is that, you know, you could focus in on the one picture, or you could focus in on the bigger picture. And I feel like the bigger picture more suits where you want to go with everything. And I just feel like you have to choose it. Yeah. So thank you, Kura. Sorry, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm really getting. So send that message to you with lots of love. I hope it serves you now and in the future. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, and I hope that made sense. It's weird that the otter jumped out too, because I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it around so that it's not in the same place. I'm going to shuffle. And a little magical. I just feel like that's how it is, eh? You know, because the universe does the same thing to me too. Just sometimes I could be outside, you know, and the moment I step outside, phew, shooting star. And I'm like, oh, thank you, universe. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tyler. Ro, are you still there? Oh, yeah. Spirit photography. I don't know, I feel like I've said that to you before. I feel like that's, you know, and it may not be literal, like actual taking photos of spirits, but the spirit of the being itself that you're focusing on just felt like it added depth to a picture or an image, because often it's flat, you know. So people really want to see into the card, or the card, to the image, into the picture, and sort of immerse themselves in that environment. I'm here. Okay, awesome. Awesome. All right, Ro. I'm just going to have a quick drink. If you'd like to take a deep breath, breathing in slowly and deeply. Just letting go of one and moving into another. Okay, let's pull some cards and then I'll just intuitively speak. So these ones are about you. You know, that's... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Why? Yeah. Okay, Ro. So this is going to be a very direct message because it is a shadow card. But 9 times out of 10 we get shadow before we step into the light. Okay, so there is a change that's coming in, so don't be put off by this. This is my hungry eyes. This is the panther, right? So I call it my hungry eyes card because it's, the eyes are so green, you know, there's like the needing or wanting something. So there is a little bit of, just, I have to be honest. So I can hear a lot of negative self-talk, but also outwards talk too. So you could be just coming off of or connecting with someone that aggravates the shit out of you right now. They may be someone that you actually love, but right now they're just really doing your head in. You know, it's like, you know, and it's like you're having to say, get away from me. You know, you're having to create that space for them. It might be may not be physically yelling at them, but it just feels like you're wanting that space, okay? And it's like that's a warning sign. So that someone's interfering in your space and you don't like it, and it can put you into it. I think sometimes we get a little bit embarrassed about doing that because, you know, like I feel like your card really should have been this butterfly here. Delicate, you know, gentle, kind, you know, sort of just going with the flow. But for some odd reason, the panther comes out with the fire energy. So we're tapping into, you know, there's two sides of us. The beauty and the beast is what I call mine. So I can be very loving and very thoughtful and beautiful, and then I can be completely the opposite because that's human. So we need to learn that our dark sides aren't our bad sides, they're our protective sides, okay? And that we only get like that when we don't feel valued appreciated, respected, or loved. So it's whichever one it feels for you. And that we're having to defend ourselves from others, whether that's energetically or verbally and physically. And so it just feels like, for me, there's something that you want to achieve, but you may often have a lot of resistance from other people. And it could be simple things. It could be something so simple, but they just seem to be like really against you doing anything. I don't know why I want to say it that way. It may not be the way that it is for you, but it just feels like there is resistance from others, and that's really making you not happy. I feel that you float in and out of that, so you're not always like, get out of my face. That sometimes you can be very open and very not complacent, complimentary to others, and maybe sometimes a little complacent, where you think, oh well, I don't want drama, so I'm just going to behave, I'll just be good, I'll just keep that. But the downside is, if we keep that bottled up, eventually it's going to overload and we're going to have an outburst. So that's the thing about shadow energy, right? Is that you're not alone, me too, is that sometimes we have to tell people to get out of our faces, because they don't understand that we might need a little bit of thinking time. We might need a little bit of space to process our feelings or our emotions. And it just feels like you need to get some air in there. You need to get some healing. Like maybe even going outside and just tending to one of your... This is something that I do actually. When I'm feeling a bit heavy or low, I'll just pick a... I'm just going to sound weird. This is going to sound weird. I just pick a pot plant outside, because I've got heaps of succulents and things like that. And I will weed it, I will water it, and then I will talk to it. I put my hands on the earth, I touch the leaves or the part, I touch the plant, and I communicate and commune with it. And it's an earthing, sometimes I'm grounding, but sometimes I ground in other ways. And that's one way that I've started to do, is that I actually walk around my garden and start connecting in with my plants. Okay, which is the alternative. But I'm just saying, that's a low stress exercise of tuning in and tapping in and giving love to something, and then we learn that when we want to have love, we can tune in, tap into ourselves and give ourselves the same kind of attention. When we've got the Panther energy, that means we need a little bit of attention. We need a little bit of love, we need a little bit of tenderness, we need a little bit of kindness, because usually you're the butterfly, my friend. You're happy, going with the flow, not here to hurt anybody, but like, we're human, and we go, get away from me. Yeah, to the beach, good reminder to do so. I would say, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or overloaded by the energy recently, because we had Fiddle Moon, so Fiddle is the dark moon. Fiddle is not a good time. Even though we're out of that now, it's kind of like that new moon hangover. We've got a hangover because of it's just like overflowing energies from that moon still processing through our being. So sometimes we go into harder energies and we need to learn some lessons or learn something about ourselves. So I just feel like you need a little bit of earthing, because that brings you back into balance. And the reason why I said just choose a plant and talk to it is because when you make friends with nature, nature looks after you. Whether that's a plant in a pot that isn't in the ground, or whether it's a big old tree. Find one place where you want to put your energy, and the energy in which you want to give that tree. And we want to know trees are the most gentlest, beautiful, purest souls that are on this planet. Because all they do is give, and they'll take it because they want to. And I just feel like with the Panther energy showing up, there also may be thoughts that are not serving you too. Like, this is a time for you to learn to be gentle. So a lot of beautiful self-talk, Ro, you're amazing today. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for being you. Thank you for that coffee. You know, like thanking yourself and giving gratitude to yourself is how we start to slowly change that self, that inner self-talk. Because as soon as you think a negative thought about yourself, you start believing it. Straight away. So we have to learn that even though I'm feeling angry right now, because you can acknowledge that, even though I feel angry right now, even though I feel heavy or burdened or I want to lash out, I choose to be kind to myself. Because if you can't be kind to yourself, no one else ever will. And that's something we definitely need to remember. What you think about yourself matters. Oh, thank you, my friend. What you think about yourself matters. So it's important for you to, even though I'm feeling really angry, which you're allowed, anger is appropriate in many situations, or feeling hoha or just heavy or hard. Hi, Pearl. Welcome. Thank you. You know, it's kind of like, but you don't have to destroy yourself up here. You don't have to, you're dumb, you're an idiot because you lashed out. I think that sometimes too. But when I do that, like let's say I have, I lose my patience and I'm yelling at the kids because the kitchen's messy, you know, or, you know, and I'm saying negative words, I will actually go in and apologize and tell them why I was saying things like that, so they can understand why my anger is appropriate, and what's not appropriate is the wording. So I'm not giving you a lecture. I'm just saying sometimes that, you know, it's good to actually acknowledge what the actual problem is, so that you're not pretending that it's not. Because the word I wanted to say with that butterfly was complacent, which means often we're pushing our stuff to the side, and unfortunately it's going to bottle up and then it's going to explode like a bomb. So yeah, just loving words in those dark times and those heavy times. Take that pause, take that love and turn it inside, push it inside to your heart, into your mind. Yeah, because you're human, my friend, and we all do it, even me. Sometimes yesterday you wouldn't have realized that I was actually really deeply sad yesterday all day, until I finally just went, you know, I've got to deal with this, and then just did the healing, and then okay, this morning a box of birds, or never knowing, you know. And that's human nature, right? When we take a U-turn and then we redirect ourselves back onto the path, and we're there again. So it doesn't matter how far you stray from the path, you can always return to it, my friend. So I send that to you with lots of love and good intentions. I hope it helps you now and in the future. Thank you, and take care of yourself. Thank you, guys. Okay. I think there was one more person. Oh, sorry, guys, if I'm not. Oh, thank you, Ro. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's a good way. Yes. Relax and reset. I love that. And realign to yourself. Okay, awesome. Alright. Just going to find the... Does anyone know the last name? Sorry, I can't remember. Heartistry Hoa. Yes. So yeah, so I originally heard that phrase, the heartistry. My heartistry is my artistry. Thank you. Is she still here? I think I saw her. I got that from Shaman Durek, watching a video of his, and when he said it, I was just like, oh, I love that. And I have stolen his words, so I apologize. But it clearly defines what I do, you know, like it's a heart artist. You know, there's an art to healing hearts, because it's not always so clear cut, you know, it's not so easy to navigate the heart, because it's a sensitive place for so many, and it's literally one of our most powerful centers, but often we're not guided by that center. because everyone focuses up top. But if you don't get these lower ones sorted, then I don't know how you'll get a clear vision up top, because they all work together, all 7 of your, well, your main chakras. But you know, you've got your energy meridians, and there's a lot of there's a lot of power centers in your body. You just need to learn how to tap into them. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I think I can only take, maybe one more, to be honest, because I do have to get off before 9. So I was going to go till 9. So I've got one more, which is... Hi, Angela. Thank you for popping in. How is your life going? Ooh. Is Pure Soul Sister? Pure Soul Wahine? I'll invite her. She's probably just popped out. Oh, sorry, I've just invited you. Okay, sorry. I'm here. Okay. Oh, shiz. I've jumped. Okay. You get to go last. Kia ora, come in. Looky Lou, you get to go last. Oh, aroha mai, that was my bad. I thought you were actually out. You get to be my lucky last then. Aroha mai, I've not even looked at the list properly. Alright. So Pure Soul Sister, if you'd like to take a deep breath, my friend, let's do it. We'll have a quick drink. You know, it's funny because I could hear shots, 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 shots. In my head, it was making me thirsty. So I think, you know, that's a sign that Spirit wants me to drink water. All right, I'm going to just take a deep breath. Oops, don't mind that. That's my crystal. And tune in. You know, I have to really drop in because there's a lot of energy. Okay. So I'll pull a card and then I will intuitively speak and allow that information to come forward for your highest good. Okay. They just want to fall out and jump out today. So we're going to let that happen. You got the golden egg, which I love because this is also the heart chakra in this deck. So it is of the spirit element. This is one of my favorite cards. And what I'll do is I'll pull that open. Well, let's read it. I always love reading these cards. This book is so worn. So it's funny that all of you guys are really centering in the heart at this time. It makes sense being in the energy of a heartist. Oh, open heart surgery. Oh, where are we? Where are we? Sorry, the unicorn, the black egg. Oh, come on, the golden egg. So it says the golden egg is the message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message here. Hey. You've been getting any messages lately? Callings, intuitive nudges. I want to read that, but they were like, I feel like this particular card is literally self-explanatory. That you're on a journey, my friend, and there's no turning back. And you can try and sidestep, you can try and slow it down, but this is something that I say to a lot of people. If you're already seeing me, it's already emotion. Whatever this message is that's been calling out to you for a very long time, but it's making itself known because many of us, it's interesting, many of us right now are about to birth something new into the world from within us because we've done that work. We're walking that path. We're trying our best anyway, and that's all the universe wants you to do. Like, try your best. Take a risk here and there. Make conscious decisions. But just know that something's coming in because of you. And it's like, for me, I want to say it's an ancestral call, because that's what's been happening a lot for me. And I just feel like you kind of resonate with that too, that you've got a calling happening inside of you, and you're looking for a place to rest and, to understand what that is. And I think you've been on a search for a really long time. And I also feel like you're coming to a stage where you've asked the universe, what's next? What am I here for? Like, these are good questions to ask, because it means you're yearning to find. And we move out of seeking and we go into finding. Because at first we seek the answers, right? Many of us on a spiritual journey, we go out and we seek the answers, but in the end it comes full circle, and then we learn, actually, all the answers that I seek, or the love that I seek, or the healing that I seek, I've already got the capability of knowing, sensing, feeling, understanding, and healing myself from the inside out. So all the things that you think that you might have, maybe you do have. Maybe you have to just simply allow them to open, to be born into the world. That's not talking about actual birth, but it's kind of like every manifestation goes through this birthing process, right? It's a natural process where we go through the ring of fire and then we come out into the world, same as with manifestations, is that they have to go through, we have to go through a lot of work to get them here, but once they're ready to come out, they will come. And it just feels like with the golden egg, something's just waiting to be born, to hatch. And okay, I was just arguing within my own head, because I want to use my discernment and be mindful of my words when I give you this guidance. It just feels like you played safe too long in the spiritual journey, that you've stood on the edge watching, waiting, that you've pretty much exhausted that option, and that spirit is asking you now to redirect into something better. And that better might be actually stepping forward and taking a name or taking a role, and however that shows up for you. But it's kind of like every one of us, and this is why I said oneness is about diversity, right? Every one of us taps into spirit differently. Every one of us shares our gifts differently. Every one of us shares our knowledge differently, but we have one main cause, that is to be of service and to help others. To help others. And I bet you've been of service to people and you've been helping others while you've been trying to heal. Not many people do that. Do you realize that? That's actually not normal to do. That people are actually choosing to use their skill sets while they're still trying to heal themselves. All the pain and hurt that they feel. And my friend, you're also about ready to bust out of the skin you've been in and be something new too. There's a new expression that wants to be born in you, in the way that you share your path, in the way that you share your life with others and with yourself. So there's been a lot of maturing happening in your energy. You've been going through that ring of fire, my friend, which is a really valuable time. Like I always say about hardships and challenges, they're fertilizer for your compost, for your garden of life. And it hurts and it sucks. But if you don't go through that, you'll never know what's at the other side of it. You'll never know. So my friend, let yourself be born into this world as you want to be. That's a cool thing about free will, is that we can choose how we show up. And I feel really happy about that. I'm going to say, it's about that time, it's about that time for you. Like, a lot of people, they like to sort of just observe because they never think that they got what it takes to do what we do. But you do, because I used to be exactly like that. I used to sit in the back and just watch. And there was a point where I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't do that anymore. It hurt my soul to sit and watch. I had to participate. I had to share. I had to do crazy weird shit. Thank you so much, guys. Crazy weird shit to really learn who I was. To come full circle and just simply be me and knowing that that's enough. And it's not always easy to maintain that belief because we will be human. But it's just kind of like, Spirit didn't bring you here for no reason. None of us are here for no reason. We're here for a reason. We just got to find out what that is. And I could tell you, I could say, hey, this and that. And I say this to everybody. I could really define that for you. But then that sucks. Because nobody knows your life like you do. Nobody does. That's why you have to define what it is that you want to be in the world. You have to make that choice. You know, that's sovereignty, right? Taking accountability for your thoughts, your words, your actions, your life, your energy. And it's like, I think people who do spiritual work, they sacrifice a lot to do this stuff. You know? They have to put themselves out in a way and share things with you that they can't show you. They can't prove to you. You've just out there simply got to believe. That's the truth. It's because you believe, and that's what makes it real. And so I say maybe it's time that you start believing in you. Why not? What have you got to lose? This is a message I share with many people because it's a message I say to myself too. Who else is going to do it, Sonia, if not you? Who else is going to be the best version of you, if not you? You know, so there's times that we got to really just go, fuck it, okay, this is it. I'm doing it, and just step forward. And the more of us that do this in our own beautiful, loving way, which, my friend, you do have your way, the more of us are helping people that are just like us, waiting for our time to shine. All right? I say that to you with lots of love and good intentions, my friend. I hope it helps you now and in the future. Thank you, and take care of yourself. I love that you got the golden hair. Jeez. Gotta come down from that one. But that's the truth of it. Straight up. We can't just keep sitting in the back. We gotta come forward. Because what we do now, this is a message that we're hearing all the time, eh, guys? What we do now in our life, thank you so much, my friend, it's going to matter in the future. Now, if we don't get this shit done now, then who's going to do it in the future, if not us? So we're paving the way for a better future. That's what I'm saying. And it starts with you. Each one of you's out there. All right, so we got the lucky last. Multitasking, you're so massive. We got Looky Loo. Okay, I'm just checking. She is very talented. Oh, Tyler. All right, my friend. Thank you, everybody out there, for your love, your generosity, for your time. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Just in case you don't, you're not here when I finish up. Okay, my lips are dry. Gonna quickly have a drink, and if you'd like to just simply take a deep breath and relax your body. Oh, that's a nice one. I heard the song, love changes everything. Love breaks the rules. Love changes everything. That ruined it. Sorry. Yeah, my friend, it's been funny because I feel like when I sort of connecting with you, there's some really deep spaces in you, like the ocean. And there's also, like, there's a depth to you. And there's like this, I don't know. Okay, can I just speak without pulling cards? Let's just get serious. You have healing qualities, but you will have to definitely remove the hara, the energy build up here. That's why love changes everything. They're asking for transmutation of any energies that no longer serve you. Let them go, like straight up, like, because the way that it feels like for you is that guys, Spirit wants to put you on a deep dive, which means going in and going deep. And you may have done this before, but this time, I feel like this time's going to be a little bit different, because maybe in the past when you've done a deep dive, or even if it's the recent past, you got to a certain point. You know how it's like, because the way that it keeps showing me is like deep sea diving. And it's like, you know, deep sea diving, and they go down and they go down. They've got little markers on how deep they dive, and then they come up and they've got their, you know, their printout of their flag, and that tells the people below how far they got. It just feels like last time, you know, I'm getting the movie The Big Blue, all of that, and I haven't even pulled cards. Pull a card. What is it? Ooh. Yep. Okay. So yeah. Oh, that's a different one. I just pulled the card. I'm not going to reveal it now because I want to finish my thought. It just feels like the last time you went to do the deep dive, you got so far, but this time it's like you've been reconditioning your body. You've been doing a lot more mindset, you know, techniques and strategies, and you're doing your practices, and you've been, you know, learning how to breathe, like you've changed the way that you practice life. And it's kind of like the way they're going, well, now, you know, like now she got to go down again, but this time we're pretty sure she's gonna, you know, hit that world breaking record, you know, for you, your own personal record. You know, it's kind of like, I did that. There feels like there's going to be a lot of hard work to go down, but a lot of it is trusting, okay? Because that's key to intuition as well. If you're someone that does spiritual mahi, you do have to trust yourself. You do have to trust your skill sets and the knowledge that you feel, sense, and know. You know, you do have to go through that process. So it just feels like the way that the card that I got for you was actually the snake. I thought I might have got the whale because I'm seeing a lot of ocean, but it makes sense, the snake, because there's cycles, right? So that's why I said recent past. You might have already done a deep dive recently, or if not, it might be in the distant past, but it just feels like the last time you did go and do a deep dive, you did discover a lot. But since you've been doing a lot more practicing and a lot more, you know, what do you call that? Training. Training, it's like the universe is going, next time you're going to go deeper, and it's going to be darker and harder, but you're going to do it. You know, it's like there's a cheerleading team going, you got this, you got this. And so you got the snake, which is interesting because it's like the cycle of life, you know, it goes all the way around and it bites. It's continuous. It's, what do you call that? Infinity? Is that the word? I feel like I'm using the wrong terminology there, but it's like the cycle goes on, it never ends. And so I feel like you're actually breaking some cycles, because you need to, you know, the thing about deep sea divers, I'm sorry, it's just the way it's coming in, is that they almost, and this is based on the movie The Big Blue. If you haven't seen that, then maybe you should. It's really old, but it's cool. And it's kind of like they can lower their resting heart rate. Have you ever seen the video where I talk about the pause in between? And there was a moment where my heartbeat slowed right down. It's like I bent time, and time slowed right down so that I could hear the of my heart. And then in between those moments, I was getting all this information. That's kind of like what a deep sea diver has to do. They recondition the way that they breathe so they can take in a lot more oxygen. So when they take that, they do that and they go. When they do that, they can take in more oxygen. That means they can last longer underwater. And it just feels like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be sorted out. That's why they're going to send you down again. Not because you're bad. You know, we've got to stop punishing ourselves when we go into these healing phases. It's because Spirit recognizes that you have the strength and the stamina to do the shit that needs to be done. The shit that's been holding you back all this time. All the deep diving issues that we have with our emotions, with our family. You need to do it now because there feels like there's a shift coming and you need to be with the shift. And I'm not talking about New Earth 3D, but I mean that is a thing. It just means like in your life. And the shift can be good or bad. It depends on the level of work you're prepared to do for yourself, okay? So I'm going to read the snake card, and that is Earth energy. Earth. No, is it Earth? Yes. The snake, oh, went straight to it. I love it. So it says, guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. Just that alone. I feel like clearly states that you have healing qualities that are yet to be opened. Well, refined is the best word. It says the snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It said that Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine. Sorry, I just got an image. In the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Angela, are you still on here? She's definitely really good at that. And can lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. Whoa. Didn't even know it said that, but that is so true. When in balance, prosperous, creative, charismatic. When out of balance, starts and stops many things. Next year also is a snake year. I don't know, are you a snake in the Chinese zodiac? That's a powerful time for snakes, is when they get to manifest their desires and all the things that they've put into work over the last 12 cycles. So you may not be a snake, it just could be just the way that I'm receiving that information. But what I saw is, okay, I need to share with you. Oh, sorry. To bring into balance Kundalini yoga and meditation, okay? So when they're talking about the Kundalini, you know what the Kundalini is, eh? It's the coiled snake rising up and then coming out your third eye, basically. But it is I can't describe a Kundalini because it's literally like a really powerful orgasm in your brain, but you feel it through your whole body. But it's not actual in any way. You know what I mean? It's like your brain gets to experience that. And it's really powerful and it's awakening, and you can have a really deep spiritual experience. And what I saw was, this is literally it, the snake rising up. So the snake for me was golden, rising up into the darkness, and then they turned it around. And they said you got to go in to go up, which is a belief system of mine, that you got to go in to go up. You got to go deep into your inner space, be a inner space explorer, to actually truly go up into higher belief systems, elevated emotions, and thought forms that are deserving of a life that you want to live, my friend. The time is now. Do the healing, do the work, and then become what you want to become. And like I said, I could feel it straight away. You have healing qualities. This is why they want to do this for you. They want to awaken those. That's what the Kundalini kind of does. It awakens you to yourself. And I'm not saying you're going to have a Kundalini. You could. It could be just a euphoric awakening that you have, you know, a deep realization that you have. And you're like, oh my God, you know, I am this. I thought about it once, but I never believed it until now. Because you come to that realization inside you. And I know I'm just putting a lot of emphasis and being passionate, but I cannot convey to you how important awakening your skill sets will be for the people in your life alone. And the flow-on effect of you choosing to use or awaken your skill sets that you can give to your children, who then give to their children, who then give to their children, and give to their children. Do you see where I'm going with this? That if you don't awaken it in you, you don't awaken it in your line. And just imagine your children's children having a fully awakened spiritual space. Instead of having to go through what we got to go through, which is waking all this shit up and refining it and working on it. Just imagine if they enter life with that knowledge. You know, a brighter future. Hope for the future. And even though we get told that the future looks pretty dark, I don't know, the more of us that keep doing our shiz, the more I have hope for the future. Okay? But I love that for you, my friend. I think if anyone should be doing this work to awaken their skill sets, it's definitely you. And I feel really good about the readings tonight because I was like, I'm glad I came back today. This is the day. This was the day that I had to connect with everybody because I can feel like everyone just elevating now. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome. So thank you, my friend. That's all I'm getting, but I hope that made sense. I send it to you with lots of love and good intentions. I hope it helps you now and in the future. And take care of yourself. Thank you, guys. I've loved today, and this was the first time I've been able to go live since before I went to my holiday in March. So this has been a great experience. Thank you to my lovely mods for being here and supporting and helping and staying. And I know that's not easy. And thank you to everybody that supported, that pay for their readings. I hope that serves you. Anyone that got a free reading and anyone that just listened. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Kia ora. Thank you. Great to see you too. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, guys. I'm looking at probably going live, I want to say tomorrow. But it might actually be in the weekend because I know that my daughter wants to come over for games night and wants to play Monopoly, which I'm gonna smash them at Monopoly. Cluedo, I'm gonna smash them at Cluedo. Well, that's the hype, that's the smack talk I'm gonna start it with. And so I'm just waiting for them to confirm whether or not it's Thursday, Friday. So it may even be Sunday, but I'm hoping to do another live this week and get back into some kind of routine. So thank you, my friend. Yeah, I've got many years of experience. But thank you, everybody. Lots of love to you all, and take care. See you again. Bye.